She's like, I mean, seriously, we went into the city when our daughter was in the Thanksgiving Macy's parade, and wife was planning the whole. She was planning out in case of a terrorist attack. Where do we go? And you'll love this. There was a Catholic church. I don't think it was St. Pat's, but there was a Catholic church just a couple blocks from the hotel around the corner. And she had determined that that's where, quote, we were going for safety. And I, of course, said to the daughter of a Methodist minister, oh, so now the Catholics are okay.
Uh-huh. That's outstanding.
Never misses his window of opportunity to fit in snark.
No. My mother and I looked at one another because if I didn't say it, it was coming right out of her mouth. Oh, so now the Catholics are okay. All right, good to know.
I mean, that bridge claps like an accordion.
Yeah,
I mean, makes sense.
No,
but what the hell, the guy in the boat? Come on.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see kind of what comes from that.
It was over the Sunday, I think, it was 35 years since Exxon Valdez. Remember, we all wondered, well, how the hell they... I mean, remember, you saw the chorus and you're like, well, how the hell did you wreck this ship?
Are we live?
We are.
Perfect. Because
look at ambient bringing it.
Tuesday, let's do it. Here we go.
Goodness.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this final Tuesday of the month. Man, do we have a lot of stuff going on. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton on millerandmoulton.com and Miller_Moulton on X. Man, you sent out that post on X, Mark, a few minutes ago, and I looked at our lineup and I'm like, man, we got a lot going on in the sports world. Again. They made the whole rest of, I mean, the government doesn't have anything going on, apparently. They don't get anything done. We cover ground every day. We got our show list of things to do. We try to get a poll question on that list every day. But otherwise, we got stuff we got to do. Ohtani, March Madness, the NFL, play of the day, good, bad, and ugly, starting five. We've got stuff we've got to do. Poll question? We'll try. How you doing?
I'm good. Saw an old friend yesterday for the first time, and we talk and text, and I've not like we've not been in communication, but I literally had not seen him in probably 15 years.
Oh, wow. So
I went and had lunch. Another friend of mine that lives here, we went and met his son, who's a monster. Kid's 15 years old. He's like 6'3", 2.25.
Oh, what are those?
Oh, no. Dad played college football. Son hopefully will play college football as well. He's a big kid. He's a big lineman, David.
So at what age do we think that son became too much for dad to handle? We all do that as parents. How long is it that we can keep beating our kids at certain activities? We're not talking board games, if you know what I mean. And so I'm just curious at what point, that beast of a son in which dad turned to his wife or turned to his friend and said, yeah, I got nothing for him anymore.
He hasn't yet, even though he hasn't yet. The intimidation factor of the old man still still seeps through his
Right.
puffiness as he's gotten older, if you know what I mean.
For his beefiness,
The
puffiness.
kid's beefy. The old
That's
man's getting a little
puffy?
puffy.
That's puffy. Got it. Well, as an old guy who's got a puffiness factor, I'm glad he's got the intimidation factor. That's still at work. Trent, can you beat your dad, or is your dad still got you?
It really depends. Ping pong, I got no chance.
What?
But
No,
Okay.
I'm talking. I'm talking in the
no.
squared circle.
No.
Oh, I can beat him in a squared circle.
Oh.
I mean, I don't. We've never gone at it, and admittedly, we've never come to blows, which is a good thing. But I'm pretty confident in.
How about on the basketball court? I mean,
Oh yeah. In the post, 2 twigs
the
going at it in the
post.
post.
In the post, you're 138 pounds. What
He's
is he in the-
135.
Yeah, so's this old man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've got the skinny gene.
See,
Another reason to hate the whole family.
I just assume, once you get to a certain age, you get that, as we just discussed, puffiness factor. I thought he had that going on. But all right,
No.
good for him.
He's got the opposite.
All right, good to know. Good to
And
know.
your
you
parents,
outweigh
your
him.
dad gets down on Saturday, right? Your mom and dad are coming down for a little while.
Yep, they're coming down.
Fired
Saturday.
up. I haven't seen your father, and I haven't seen his dad literally since we were in college.
Wow.
I left. I'm one of those that left Michigan never to return.
Well,
And
but I mean, never to return. Like you didn't go back, either family, just to visit friends, a high school reunion, a college reunion.
no on the reunions. I went back a couple of times.
Wait, no. We got to
Definitely no on the family.
Wow. Can we stop? I quick 30. Okay, I want to use my first half 30 really early. Okay, I'm just going to use it right now. Why so quick with the no on the reunions?
Well, Michigan State doesn't have reunions; they have homecoming.
Well, okay, but
I've
high
been back to
school?
Michigan State once or twice for some football games.
Okay, what about now? High
High
school. Your
school-
high school's merged, right?
No, but at my high school, if there was a 10-year reunion, I never heard about it. There was a 20-year reunion, and they did it in the fall, like in conjunction with the homecoming football game. And I don't know if you're aware, David, we got a little thing going on in the fall called football season. And the last thing I'm going to do is fly back to Saginaw, Michigan, to spend time with people I haven't spent time with in 20 years. And it was of no,
Okay.
it didn't sound fun. And my closest friends weren't going. So
there was no Noreen Ziegler that you were just dying to see.
no, she was in a class behind me.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'd see her when I'd go back to I used to play in the member guest up there with the buddy. I'd see her there every year.
Oh, okay. Got it. And also, you dismissed family very quickly, too. Is that because family all moved or
Yeah.
because you didn't like them?
Yes. Yes to both.
Okay. Sorry, you made 3 declarative statements, and I just wanted to analyze every one because they were all significant. And that's all. I just wanted to break it down.
But my dad who's passed, he moved down here right away. My mother was down here. I'm an only child. So
No, I get it. I do. I mean, I don't go back, quote unquote, home very often. I mean, and if my mom and grandparents weren't there, I don't know if, I might have gone back as a tourist, to go see the city and do some things. But, I hear you. I got you. I'm not, no dispersions going your way or anything. I just wanted to break down the answer. You were so definitive or declarative.
yeah,
No.
great place to be from. It's not the
Okay.
same as it was. So it's not nearly.
Okay. That's all.
I mean, put
already
it this
feel
way.
that.
Put
Yeah.
it this way. Trent's dad lives 2.5 hours from where he grew up
Yes.
because we're from the same part of the world.
Okay.
And I believe your dad still has family
Yes.
in Hemlock, which is a little community outside of Saginaw. How often does your dad go back to Hemlock?
A couple times a year.
A couple times. He lives 2.5 hours away. He goes back a couple times a year, and his
Right.
mother still lives there.
Yes. And
Okay.
that's the only reason too.
Right. It's just
Okay.
it's
All right.
There was
Once
an
again,
old song. I was born in Saginaw, Michigan. It didn't say about staying in Saginaw, Michigan.
I got it. I got it. I just listen. For the record, I only went back. If we've had more than one high school reunion, I'm completely unaware of it also. I mean, that's another one. And my high school did a 7-year reunion, which shows just how on top of things we were. Okay. Somebody at about 5.5 must have said, wait, wow, we just didn't, man, we got to do it. Should we wait to 10? No, let's do one at 7. Huh. Okay. And so, I went to it. And then that's it. If they've had others, I haven't gone back for that. So I hear you. I got you.
I wonder how many of them saw you on Monday Night Football with a sad lizard costume on.
Oh, no. Got a couple of people track me down and are like, are you the, yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's me.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So we were all excited yesterday, David.
Yes.
There was a press conference.
Love a press conference that's announced more than 24 hours in advance. This is
Right.
going to be a big news event. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Turned out to be a waste of time.
So then this post on X happened early in the afternoon in the East, in which it said, Otani's not going to be answering any questions. And on top of that, no cameras will be allowed. I would have been arrested. I probably would have lost my credentials for the rest of the year. Okay. I can't believe Major League Baseball allowed the second part of it. You don't want to take questions at the presser. You want to beat that. Fine. I mean, it's wrong. It's stupid.
The look is horrific.
The look is awful. It defeats the whole purpose of you staging this event, which is now not nearly the event it was supposed to be. But in all honesty, I don't think you could discriminate against media outlets like that. We're not going to allow any cameras. We're not going to allow any video. Seriously? In this day and age? I mean,
when we're all carrying an HD camera in our pocket?
Well, I mean, do newspapers rule the world here? I mean, what are we doing? Okay. And then they allow a camera. I mean, because it was televised on MLB Network. So they did allow at least one camera in, and goodness knows it was televised back to Japan. Okay. So they allowed at least one camera into the room. Now, you could argue once you have that camera, you don't need any others. Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. It amazes me, Mark, how many times high-profile teams or athletes, you figure they've got the best and the brightest media relations and public relations people, right? I mean, to be able to get a job that high up on the food chain, you got to be the best and the brightest. That's what we assume, right?
Yeah. I don't. There are a lot of other factors that go into getting jobs. I don't necessarily always think the best and the brightest are in sports media relations, but I'll go with your premise because you're on a roll.
What? I was going to say, boy, I sold that pretty good, and you weren't buying what I was selling at all. Now, just quick sidebar. So you got this department. There's one or two people in the department may have gotten their jobs because of who they know, but somebody in that department's got to know what they're doing, right? I mean, you're doing media relations for the Dodgers, for goodness sakes. Are there 8 professional franchises that bring more to the table than the Dodgers? I would just think that whoever's running it knows what they're doing. Morons. How can all of these media and public relations people continuously get this stuff wrong? And by the way, you had 6 days to prepare this from when the story broke. Unbelievable.
And my lawyers will handle it from here, and I'll be cooperating from the police, and I'm not going to take any questions on this today or any day.
Right.
And neither is my second interpreter.
No, but we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Right? I mean, $5 million missing, and you didn't know anything about it until there was a story in ESPN and the LA Times that was about to unfold. That's when you went, holy crap, I'm missing
He
some money.
stole from me. How did he get away with this? I will not stand for this.
Yeah, sure, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You wait. It's going to turn on Ohtani here, and it's going to turn quickly.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Kilo's dad's on your side, Mark. He's like, I don't think so. No, Coffin Boy stole the money from him. That's the story now, and we're sticking to it. He stole the money from him. Apparently, he did it $500,000 at a time.
Nothing better than the clip of Pete Rose going, if I had an interpreter, I'd be scot-free. You not see it?
That's awesome.
Wow. Thank you, Kilo's dad.
Good comment.
Okay, now we have to figure out how much. How.
Yeah. Kilo's dad, you will like this on the group text that I'm on with some buddies right after the show. I get a text.
Here we go.
Where is it?
Is this the one you?
Hey, hate to do this, but I took it on the chin betting Kentucky and the Turdy and need about 2.8 mil. Any way you can Venmo me? I answered done. Anything for a buddy.
There you go.
I want to know 2 checks.
Supposedly, right? $2 $500,000 checks.
What's the poll question? Do you believe Ohtani? Do you believe that Ohtani had the money stolen from him?
We going Ohtani or are we going hip drop?
Yeah, the only other one I had is the NFL getting too soft for you.
Well, people may say yes, but I mean, look at the ratings and the interest and the
Right.
gambling, and I mean,
I think you got to go Ohtani.
So, do you believe him, or
Yeah, do you believe
do
him?
you yes or no?
yes, he's a victim.
How do you spell Shohei?
SHOHEI.
SHOHEI.
Yes.
Mhm. Shohei.
Show
Hey,
me the money.
hey. You putting on a show? Hey. I just
Sports never, ever, ever fail to deliver. We got this guy who's going to make all this money, world superstar. Everyone in baseball knows who he is. By the way, we got a multi-million-dollar scandal.
remember, it's never the crime, it's the cover-up. Just
Don't hate the playa.
Do you believe
honestly,
Shohei Ohtani's story that his ex-interpreter stole $4.5 million from him?
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah. And apparently
Yes.
it might be up to 20.
Not a
same
chance.
two answers as yesterday. Yes and no way.
I would not a chance. I'm going to just go with yes and no. I'm not leading the witness, Your Honor.
Just when you go, Your Honor, okay, can I treat the witness as hostile? Answer the question.
I'm going to be interested to see what the split is. 'Cause I think we
I'll
all
tell
know
you
it's
what it
gonna
is. It's going to be 85-15. No way.
That's about what I think too. I mean, we know it's going to win. I just don't know what the people have to say. All right, here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. Heck of a show lined up today, if we do say so ourselves. David Samson will join us in 40 minutes' time. Our 8 o'clock hour, Josh Pastner to talk hoops. Pat Kirwan live from the NFL's owners' meetings. In fact, he will have already interviewed 2 owners this morning. That's why we had to move Pat back about a half hour later than normal. But David Samson, Josh Pastner, Pat Kirwan coming up later on the show. Hey, you had a decent job once upon a time. You had an office. You managed some people. Okay. You had to wear a shirt and tie to work. Had to at least bring the jacket and hang it on the chair and occasionally put it on, if for no other reason, because the arena was cold. But if you wanted to do something for your staff, you had an idea, and you were convinced, man, this is a good idea. This is one of the best things I've come up with in a while. And you threw it out to the staff, and the staff looked at you and said, boss, yeah, don't do that. No, don't. No, we know what you're thinking. Appreciate the gesture, but that's not going to work for us. It's just not. Trust us. We appreciate the gesture. We do. It's not going to work. Would you then go, oh, okay, well, thanks for the feedback, and scrap the idea? Or would you look at them and go, yeah, what the hell do you guys know about your jobs? We're going to do this.
When I was in that corner office, it would have been B. It's why I'm no longer in that office. But 54-year-old me would have scrapped the idea immediately. Like, wow, this sucks.
So 34-year-old you
Would have
would
said,
have
what
told
the hell's
the
the
wor-
matter with all of you?
It's a good
The
idea.
beatings will continue until morale improves.
Because, well, then I guess Mark Miller was running the competition committee and staging the vote at the owners' meetings yesterday. Because they had this idea to adopt a rule for player safety. And the Players Association literally came out and said, guys, this is a bad idea. All right. I appreciate the sentiment and what have you, but no, don't do this. It's not a good idea. Believe me, more problems than you could ever imagine. This will make things really hard for everybody. You don't even realize how hard it will make it for you. Don't do this. And they channeled their 34-year-old Mark Miller and they said, yeah, the heck do you guys know? Like you play the game or something. We're eliminating the swivel hip drop. Now, quick question, Your Honor. What's the difference between a hip drop and a swivel hip drop? I'll hang up and listen. So yeah, you're going to have to tackle differently. How you going to get Derrick Henry to the ground? I mean, if you
Now
hit
they're going to be upset when guys are going. They're going to say guys are going after knees now because the only way to hit these guys is to hit them low and try to knock them over.
So if you hit a guy and he's bigger than you and you end up holding on for dear life, but somehow wrestling the steer to the ground, okay, but your legs are off the ground because you're holding on for dear life and he's dragging you. All right, but technically you then wrestle him to the ground around his waist. Is that a hip drop? J.J. Watt, did you see his release yesterday?
Just fast forward to the belts with flags on them. A couple other places said tackling banned.
Now, he does work for CBS. I mean, he's not just a former player, if you know what I mean. So, in theory, he's going to go on CBS in the fall, and he's going to say this stuff as well.
I hope so.
I do too. And let me tell you, Mark, the one thing the NFL is a big fan of is their commentators going on TV and criticizing the NFL.
They love it.
They love it.
In fact, they encourage it.
They really do. And
Shohei Ohtani is going to take questions later today.
I sent a text to Troy Aikman in which I said, you remember that Raiders-Chiefs game in which you mentioned something about quarterbacks and dresses? I go, you may want to dust that line off sometime next year.
And the players are not being hypocritical in what they're doing. They don't think the refs can call it one.
No, it's just too much. They're like, listen, there's already too many calls out there that we think are subjective. Now this is another one. Troy Vincent tried to throw water on the flames by basically saying, Mark, the rule's going to be on the books, but we're hardly ever going to call it. It's something we're then going to look at the video on Mondays and Tuesdays, and we're going to send out warning letters and fines the way we usually do when players use their helmets and their heads to make a tackle. Very rarely is it called on the field, but it's something that during the week we go, oh, man, you can't do that. That's what Troy Vincent tried to say afterwards. Players aren't buying it.
Referees must love it because the game's not the good news is the game's slowed down. Players aren't bigger, faster, and stronger. They're getting slower. And it makes the job for the referees that much easier.
Right.
So they can add more rules to make the game more confusing for the officials who already struggle. And we spend a great deal of Monday and Tuesday talking about the bad calls that referees made every week.
Speaking of which, John Perry, the rules official on Monday Night Football, will join us next week. He's got a little family vacation this week.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's what I said to him. I said, hey, next time, plan it around the owners' meetings, all right? There's always something that happens at the owners' meetings. Know your NFL schedule, John. But whatever, devoted family man, blah, blah, blah. So we'll get him on next week.
It's actually good. It'll let him marinate a little while, and there'll be more complaints, and he'll have been able to have heard probably from officials, maybe even from players in that time, and have some more to enlighten us on with the swivel hip drop tackle being eliminated from the NFL.
What is the difference between the swivel hip drop and a hip drop? Is that like an extra twist? Is that a dance move? Is this like I'm on an amusement park ride? Is this the difference between the scrambler and the tilt-a-whirl?
Both large spinning puke machines.
Yes, but the tilt-a-whirl had a swivel element to it. The scrambler just threw you all around. The tilt-a-whirl did it in an enclosed environment with a twist, and you never knew when the twist was going to happen. That's what I think they outlawed. I think they outlawed the tilt-a-whirl. They left in the scrambler. They outlawed the tilt-a-whirl.
The Munger Potato Festival will never be the same, David, if they take the tilt-a-whirl out.
I mean, listen, I understand. I do. This is a good thought, guys. You know what? Wow. For the first time in a while, you guys seem sincere about this player safety thing. I always thought it was a crock. But this idea is a bad one. Don't know what to tell you. We're doing it. So you did this before, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd that work out?
Not good.
Okay. All right.
Miller and Moulton. Great show lined up for you. David Samson, Pat Kirwan to join us, the starting five. That's what we do next, right here on Miller and Moulton.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA-certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
All right, Johnny Yo. 100% correct. we don't believe that the interpreter is the guy who's managing Otani's funds. That's where we understand if his financial advisor or agent or somebody took advantage of him. But do we think his interpreter was his financial advisor, his money manager?
Yeah, the parachute they're trying to use
I mean,
is not believable.
how did he get, let's just assume Otani's story is true. How does he have access to the money?
Like, it feels like they're trying to pick the gray area because they know that they can't be proven wrong.
I think there's pressure on him to not admit any role in this.
No, that's what I mean. They're going to do that.
But what I don't understand why. I mean,
If it's true that the guy had a gambling problem and Otani bailed him out, where's the harm?
well, in America, there's no harm. Is this like apparently Japan's not going to accept this?
That's a good point. I don't know.
I mean, is this he'll be a look down?
All good questions for David Samson. I'm not being a jerk.
No, you're exactly right.
I don't. Well, and Paul, that's another thing. If you're the victim here, then why can't you take questions? You didn't do anything wrong, right?
One and one in women's college basketball. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
So last night I went to a culinary night at Palm City Brewing.
Oh,
that was something. There's a
What do you mean by something? The scenery or
no, not the scenery.
Okay.
Just the whole deal. There was some food truck there, and he was his whole thing was he wanted to show that it's not just food truck food, it's actually good food, and it was really good.
Paired it with beers?
They gave you the little guys, like the
right,
whatever that is. 6 ounces or something. No, Paul, I wish. I went with a buddy. One of my few friends that I've made down here. We went to culinary night.
Busy?
It was a ticketed event, so it was like probably 30 people.
Okay.
Brown Chicken, what show was he on? Was he on Dan the legal guy? Was he on Chris Cuomo? What show was he on?
News Nation, he said.
Well, but that's a channel.
That's a channel?
Yeah.
That's a channel.
Boy.
They're trying to be a
split.
Yeah, they're trying to be right down the middle. I think they're a step to the right of the middle. Okay, but they actually have assembled, I mean,
they've got a good lineup.
Yeah, an impressive list of people.
God, if I watch news anymore, I might even be remotely interested.
I mean, I don't know how they outrate Blue Bloods reruns, but give it your best shot.
I had a big vote last night.
Uh-oh.
Board of directors for the HOA.
Wow.
Got some wild card neighbors trying to get in, David.
I was asked to be on the board of our HOA, and my wife threatened me with eviction. She's convinced that we'll get sued, that apparently you can be sued. If you're a board member in an HOA and something goes wrong, you can be sued.
I didn't run, Paul. I have no interest. They're all nuts. My poor neighbor's on the board. I feel terribly for him. The number of people, and he's a good guy. He's an ex-police officer. Worked in a real city, Hampton Roads, Virginia police officer, not a township cop, if you know what I mean.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. David Samson joins us at the top of the hour. Josh Pastner talks some college hoop. Pat Kirwan live from the NFL owners meetings. We got you covered. This is a legit sports talk show today. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. What's our poll question?
It's very simple. It's about Shohei.
Hey!
How's that again?
Shohei!
Uh-huh. Do you believe Shohei Ohtani's story that his ex-interpreter stole $4.5 million from him?
Hell no.
That's my answer, and that's 3/4 of the answers so far in early voting. 75% of you do not believe him.
Wow, I'm impressed that 1 out of 4 of you do. You're nice people. We need more of you.
Go to that Mark Miller, Miller_Moulton on X, and at some point, David will repost it.
Wow, that's right. I really should have done that. I didn't realize we had it so early. 21 minutes before the hour. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
number 1 is Shohei. Remember Rerun? Hey, hey, hey.
That was not Rerun. That was Dwayne.
Wasn't
Wasn't
it? You're right. I think you're right. Anyway, Ohtani did not have a press conference. He read from a statement. Well, I'm good he gave us a day's notice so that he could read from a statement. And he did it through an interpreter. What was that video Pete Rose released last night?
Wish I had an interpreter.
Funny's funny.
Funny's funny.
Anyway, Ohtani, through the interpreter, said he's never been on sports, and he did not instruct his former interpreter to wire money from his account to pay a bookie. In Ohtani's words, and I quote, "Mizuhara has been stealing money from us and has told lies," unquote. He also said, and I quote, "I have never bet on baseball or any other sports, nor have I asked someone to do that on my behalf." So he did try to cover some ground here, some of the questions we might have, like if he said, "I never bet," but in theory, he could have had his buddy do the betting for him. So at least he tried to cover that part in the statement. I mean, he's unequivocally saying this guy stole money from me. He's the gambler. He's the one who lost the money. I'm an innocent victim. And that's the line in the sand, correct?
Right.
Mark?
100%.
There's no ambiguity here at all. Of course, there were statements that representatives of Ohtani were saying to the LA Times and ESPN a week ago over in South Korea. And supposedly, since the reason this whole got uncovered is that the illegal bookmaker is the target of a federal sting, and that's how certain information was uncovered, including reportedly 2 checks for $500,000 from Ohtani to the bookmaker. So
Nothing to see here, David. Nothing to see.
Time to move on. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. And opening day in 2 days. Of course, not for us. We did it last week in South Korea. But for the U28 other teams, yeah, opening day, Thursday. Women's college hoops last night. Iowa was fine. They're up 10 going to the 4th. They're going to pull away. Heck, they might even cover. And then West Virginia scored the first 10 points of the 4th quarter, and we had some drama. Caitlin Clark might be going out in the 2nd round. That West Virginia coach is going to look like a prophet. We're sending Caitlin Clark home. Not so much. All right, Iowa hit a 3 with 2 minutes to go. Clark scored half her team's points. They held off West Virginia 64-54. Top-seeded USC, they advanced as well. Juju Watkins, who's the next star in women's college basketball, she had 28 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. UConn made their 30th consecutive Sweet 16. I know we get tired of teams and all they do is win, blah, blah, blah. 30 consecutive Sweet 16s. I mean, come on. You got to give it up. Would have been 31 if not for the year that was canceled because of the pandemic. Tennessee lost in the second round, but then again, they were expected to. They lost to the 3-seed NC State 79-72. Other winners, Mark, Indiana, Notre Dame, UCLA, Gonzaga. All 8 top seeds yesterday advanced. Not a single upset. So we have had so far, Mark, we've had like 3.
Right.
The
one in the first round, Middle Tennessee State beat Louisville.
Right.
Then Duke beat Ohio State. That was a 7 beating a 2.
And then Baylor won as a 5, and there was another 5. So we have had literally in do the math, 48 games. Right. The better seeded team is 44-4 in the women's tournament. That's not drama, just so you know. I mean, that's getting
You know what that is,
names.
David?
Yeah.
It's my kind of tournament.
Sure is. Men's basketball, Sweet 16s Thursday. So this is that time in which, we start hiring and firing coaches. Vandy hired James Madison's Mark Byington. Washington hired Danny Sprinkle from Utah State. So how many jokes do you think he's had about sprinkles on ice cream in the course of his thing? Washington State's Kyle Smith. He said, I can't stay here. We're getting demoted. Going for the Pac-12 to the WCC. I'm going to Stanford. I'm going to be a part of the ACC, at least, in name. Because when you think Atlantic Coast Conference, you think Stanford. Missouri State's on the verge of bringing back Quanzo Martin. Who says you can never go home again? Martin had a very successful 3-year stint about 15 years ago there. And Marshall fired Dan D'Antoni, who was the oldest Division I head coach. He was 76 years old, had been there 10 years, took him to the tourney, won 18 games a year on average at Marshall. That's great stuff. That's their only tourney appearance since like the 50s. NBA, we got this Ohtani story in baseball. Have you heard about the NBA gambling story?
Yeah, this one's...
this is interesting.
This is fascinating, David.
Okay, we got a moment, so we'll get into this. Raptors forward Jonte Porter. He's the younger brother of the Nuggets Porter, right?
Yes.
Anyway, he's being investigated because there was very unusual betting activity on 2 games that he's played in the last 2 months on his specific prop bets, not on the Raptors, but on him. There was a January 26th game in which the most money that was bet on any individual NBA player in a prop bet was bet on the under on Jonte Porter. He only played 4 minutes that night. He re-aggravated an eye injury from 4 days earlier. Okay, it happens. 2 months later, March 20th, once again, the most money that's bet on an individual player and his prop bets was bet on Jonte Porter and the under. Points, rebounds, assists, threes, the whole deal. He plays 3 minutes, takes himself out. He's sick. Doesn't play the rest of the game. Needless to say, the authorities are looking into it. Because when you think, hey, I'm going to make a prop bet tonight, which NBA player am I going to bet the over-under on? I'm thinking the Raptors, Jonte Porter. How about you?
That's where I'd go.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's called a betting irregularity. As for the association, Dante DiVincenzo hit 11 threes last night for the Knicks. Wow. Scored 40.
Well, they were playing Oakland, and Oakland didn't have the kid that made all the threes.
I know, and the kids from Oakland were wearing the Pistons uniforms last night. And so the Knicks beat them by 25. Do you know the Celtics had a 30-point lead on the Hawks and lost? 30. Best team in the league, 30. By the way, there's no Trae Young for Atlanta. He's out for the year. That's right. Atlanta came from 30 down. They were down 18 at the half. Beat Boston 120-118. Snaps a 9-game winning streak for the Celtics. Mark, by the way, they were in Atlanta last night. They stay in Atlanta for basically the rest of the week because they don't play again till Thursday when they play Atlanta. An NBA team in the middle of the season spending 5 days in Atlanta. What do you think the after-hours activity is like with the Celtics this week?
What is it, Magic City, where they've got the wings? That's where they'll be.
At least one of the nights. Houston won their 9th straight. They're a half a game behind Golden State for the final play-in spot. They beat Portland by 18. Nuggets have a full game lead now for the 1 seed because they beat Memphis by 25. Sacramento beat Philly by 12. The Sixers fall a half a game behind the Heat. So now Miami's the 7 and Philly's the 8. And the reason Miami's the 7 is because the Pacers went to LA and beat the Clippers by 17. So the Pacers remain the 6th seed. Clippers are now tied with New Orleans for the 4 seed. Boy, that'd be an entertaining first-round series. Clippers and the Pelicans. NHL, only 2 games. Vegas with an overtime win against St. Louis. Vegas now 5 points ahead of the Blues for the final playoff spot in the West. Kings secure their playoff position by beating Vancouver, and Vancouver 3-2. Mark, the great American mystery has been solved. The Penguins got the Yager bobbleheads back.
Yes, I saw that. Thank goodness. I want to know what they were going to. Tough defense, a truckload of bobbleheads.
It really is. A truckload of bobbleheads because it was going to be a bobblehead giveaway to everybody. So you're talking 19,000 bobbleheads. I mean, this, how many pawn shops do you have to hit? Hey, can you take 20 off my hands? And former Lightning great Martin St. Louis back as head coach of the Canadiens. He had stepped away for a couple weeks for personal reasons. NFL, we went over it. The owners approved the ban of the swivel hip drop tackle. It can be a 15-yard penalty, but it can also lead to fines. Owners approve. You get a 3rd challenge if you get either of the first 2 right. Remember before you had to get them both right to get a 3rd challenge. Now, if you get either one right, you get a 3rd challenge. So, boy, they were in a giving mood yesterday. And the Dolphins confirmed that they have an offer on the table for Odell Beckham. He has to decide whether or not he wants to take it, obviously. And some baseball news that's not Ohtani related. Arizona is going to start the season with their closer on the IL, Paul Sewald, and DJ LeMahieu is going to start the year for the Yankees on the injured list. Can't believe a player in his mid-30s that they committed a 6-year big money contract to has gotten hurt all the time. That's shocking, Brian Cashman. And at nearly 8 minutes before the hour, that was
the Starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
Starting 5 with just a spoonful of snark.
Well, I mean, you got to get your shots in on Cashman when you can.
Only a spoonful of snark?
Well, it's early. I mean,
yeah, because the Starting 5 is
it's a taste.
Newsy type segment.
Right.
So it only has a spoonful of snark. The rest of the show is heavy on snark.
Right. It's a backhoe full of snark.
Right.
Right. This is just a shovel full of snark. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're bringing David Samson on in a few minutes. I mean, you might as well just get the audience ready because we're going to go at it, by the way. He totally disagrees with us about one part of this Ohtani story. I sent him a Jane, you ignorant, you-know-what text yesterday about Ohtani not holding the presser, and he basically sent me a text back saying, yeah, you're a moron. So that's how this sucker's going to start.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
This should be good.
You're damn right it'll be good.
So LeMahieu's on the IL.
Right.
Judge is...
he's okay. I mean, his side's bothering him a little bit, but nothing to see here. He's good. Juan Soto's going to hit 412 home runs anyway, so they're an interesting over/under. I mean, they don't have the starting pitching to win a World Series, but they can win a lot of regular season games if their lineup stays healthy.
And what is it? 90
3.5, 92.5, depending on where you look.
92.5.
Yeah, depending on where you look. So they won 82 games last year. So needless to say, they got to improve a little bit. David Samson, he doesn't have to improve at all, and he's next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commissioned and educational presentation, and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
What
you
News
doing?
Nation show were you on? What time was it? Was it Elizabeth Vargas?
Elizabeth Vargas.
Oh, so was it the 6 o'clock show, 5 o'clock show?
Yeah, it
something
was
like that?
right when Shohei was speaking, so I was on at 5:40.
Gotcha.
Well, since he read from a prepared statement, there wasn't much he had to hear.
It was not a press conference.
No.
It was outrageous, is what it was.
Thank you.
The
So
media should be
apparently,
ashamed of themselves for showing up.
well, but we were led to believe it was going to be one thing, and you're like driving to the presser when they say, "Oh, by the way, it's not going to be a presser, and you can't ask any questions."
Or have video.
Well, that part I don't. I'm
They
very
made it
surprised.
exclusive.
I'm very surprised Major League Baseball allowed that. I don't think you can do that to certain sections of the media industry and go, no, you can't be here. What are you talking about? We can't be here.
The BBWAA should object.
I understand MLB provided a camera because they televised it, but I don't know.
Having all the Dodgers brass standing in the room silently, showing some sort of veiled support.
Reminded me of when A-Rod did his Yankees presser, and they like begged Jeter. They're like, please just stand in the room. Please, just up against the wall on the side.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah. Just, okay. And they're like, nah, we're good. No. No. We didn't want him here in the first place. So, no, you guys eat this one. We're good. Jeter looking at Cashman going, no, Brian, you gave him all the money you wouldn't give me. You can eat this one.
So true.
So can you show everyone, if they didn't see it yesterday, how it was you ended your nothing personal yesterday?
Oh, yes, I will imitate it.
Okay. Did you do the appearance, by the way, right there? Or did you have to go somewhere?
For what?
News Nation. Could you do it
Right
right
here.
from your house? Cool.
Right here.
That chair too? You sat in the glove for him?
I sat in the glove chair.
That's awesome.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Thrilled to be joined once again by David Samson. He of the award-winning Nothing Personal with David Samson podcast that he records live weekdays at 8 a.m. He fits us into his Tuesday morning routine. And so you can follow him at all the places, that you can get the podcasts. Never mind the fact that on X, you can follow him at David, the letter P. Samson, David P. Samson. Can you, at the start, recreate the final 30 seconds of your Nothing Personal yesterday in terms of if you were Shohei Ohtani, how would you have handled things yesterday?
I would have walked into the room, sat in the chair, and done this.
And that's
And
how
then
we
I
ended
would
his
have walked
podcast yesterday. There you go. That's his statement. David Samson, you heard it right here. Answered all your questions.
I find the whole thing yesterday so objectionable on myriad levels, starting with I don't understand who's advising the Dodgers or Ohtani. I've never heard of anyone under investigation deciding that they were going to talk and lay out their side of the story. Whether it's true or not, you don't do it because the authorities, whether it's the IRS or anybody, is listening to every word. They now have you on tape that they can use if you do not give the same story or if what you said isn't true. There's just no reason to do what he did. And for heaven's sake, stop calling it a press conference. It was not a press conference. He read a statement. That's all he did.
So you don't even think he should have done that?
Absolutely not. The best advice you give your client is shut up. That's it. There's been tons of leaks. All he did is reiterate what the Dodgers and Ohtani had out in the media after the interpreter had told ESPN that Ohtani was involved, and then realized, uh-oh, that's not good. So then they had the interpreter recant the story. They disavowed the interpreter. And ever since that moment, they've been telling you exactly what Ohtani told you yesterday, which is it's massive theft. I lost $4.5 million. I had no idea. I learned about it in the clubhouse in Korea in English. So I didn't even understand then until I went to the hotel and he confessed to me everything he had done.
But David, if you did nothing wrong, I understand, okay, legally and what, it's always best to say nothing. But if you've done nothing wrong and you are telling the truth, what's the harm?
All I can tell you is 3 years of law school and a lot of experience in my life, not having to ever do that, not having done anything like that. You tell your clients the same thing. When there's an investigation going on, whether you are telling the truth or not, whether you're on the right side of the law in every possible way or not, you simply don't talk. The question is, what was gained by what he did? Sometimes strategically, you'll want to do something. Maybe you'll want to say something about part of something. But watching yesterday's statement that was read, explain to me in your mind what Shohei gained.
In this country, I don't think he gained anything. I really wonder if this was all done for his homeland, for his image back in Japan. I'm very, very serious about that because in this country, 4 people maybe he convinced yesterday.
So interesting. He's got a bunch of sponsors. And one of the things that you have to worry about is he took $2 million a year in cash flow from the Dodgers and deferred 68 of the 70 million for 10 years from now. And the reason he did that is all the sponsorship income that is coming his way. So I absolutely understand if his sponsors needed him to come out and do that, but I wouldn't have done it with the Dodgers background. I wouldn't have done it with Andrew Friedman and Stan Kasten standing there watching him talk with 2 players as though they're showing this great support for their new fearless leader. If he needed to take care of sponsors, I want him to have a statement about his love of the game, about how sorry he is to be such a distraction, about how he can't wait for the truth to come out. Those sort of statements are okay. But his declarative statements that he made, believe me, the IRS, the investigators, the FBI, they're watching and they're saying, wow, that's pretty unequivocal. We've got something to go on here.
Do you believe him?
It's not, I was the first guy voted off of Survivor. So I tend to believe people, and that's maybe my mistake. So do I believe him? Every part except why he agreed to do yesterday and why he did not explain that the interpreter has access to his account. Why did he not say that part? Is that not true? That can be proven. You have to sign documents. For crying out loud, when I wire $100, they authenticate my identity 3 times. When I get a wire, it doesn't get into my account until I'm authenticated. And there were 9 wires, allegedly, of $500,000 going to a bookie. That's how Ohtani got involved in this in the first place, because his name was associated with wires. And the interpreter acknowledged that Ohtani did that and then changed his story, of course. But if you're going to do a statement at all, which you shouldn't, why wouldn't you say, and by the way, for those of you asking, the account that money came from, I never look at. I'm not even a signatory on. I don't even have control over it. My paycheck goes into it every other month. And that money, I never looked, and I can't believe it's gone. How about that as a comment?
He's David Samson. Nothing personal with David Samson. Live weekdays at 8 a.m. It is an award-winning podcast on 2 fronts. You can follow him on X at David P. Samson, David P. Samson. All right. Let's assume that he's changed his story, and the first story is the right one for a second, that he basically paid off his buddy's gambling debts. Is there a problem with that, David? Like you're running the Marlins. Okay, but with Major League Baseball, And I'm being serious here because none of us believe that that our government's going to come down hard on Otani. That yes, he probably broke state law, maybe he broke federal law, that he'll get probation and he'll be fine. Okay, but within the confines of Major League Baseball, is that a problem?
It's a straight violation of one of the rules of the CBA that you cannot do anything or be associated with known illegal bookmakers. So if he's aware of any wires at all or approving any wires that are going to illegal bookmakers, he is subject to a punishment by the commissioner. And believe me, the commissioner wants nothing than for this to be over. He wants the investigation to be done within 90 seconds of it starting, but you can't do it. And yesterday's statement did not help MLB's investigation. It merely reiterated what he had already said, that were coming out of his camp. They've got to get to the bottom of the questions that we're all asking, and they've got to do it thoroughly. Why? Because you can't be wrong when it comes to gambling. You simply cannot. And we're seeing what's happening in the NBA today. The second biggest story, Adam Silver is so thankful today for Shohei Ohtani, because any other day, what's going on with Porter and in the NBA with his prop bets, that's the only thing we're talking about.
All right. Major League Baseball has to be very thorough. I get it. Don't they have to be very quick? I mean, this is something, you have to be very thorough, but they want, as you mentioned, they want this over with. So how long do you anticipate Major League Baseball investigating this? Or is this just a matter of they're going to wait and see what the feds are going to do?
I think they have to wait and see, and think about how long it took with Bauer. And what the Dodgers did with Bauer is they just eliminated him. His locker was gone. His jerseys were gone from the team store, and you could just forget about him. But with Ohtani, he's batting second and is the face of baseball. So that's the nightmare of this situation for baseball, is they're going to be looking at this problem all year. How do you end the investigation with him getting off absolutely unscathed? You've got to go under every rock, because if they let him off and then it turns out that he did know about it, then they have to reopen it and then suspend him, and then they look foolish. So as much as they want this to be over quickly, they don't want to look bad. That's an overarching sense that the commissioner's office always has. So I think they're just going to stop talking about it. The investigation is going to continue. But a little nugget here, I promise you that there are news outlets who are also investigating this and trying to figure out what the trail of money, who had control of what, looking for sources, looking to see the status of the IRS and FBI investigation. So this story, for me, is far from over.
Well, the LA Times and ESPN were both apparently all over this story and about to go full-fledged and reporting it when, the stories got changed in the last week has unfolded. DraftKings, and we have 3 minutes left. DraftKings is the number 3 sponsor in Major League Baseball in terms of how much money they pay. We've gone from 1 state to 40 in 5 years in terms of legalized sports betting, even though California is not one of them. If you're Major League Baseball here, do you need to maybe look at what's on the books, or do you need to maybe publicly restate what's on the books and say, okay, I think everybody needs now, we're going to use this Ohtani story to let everybody know what the rules are?
No, I don't think they do that. The way it works inside the game is we read the gambling rule on the last day of spring training. We post the gambling rule in the clubhouse with a bunch of notices in every possible language. And we talk about it during the course. Remember, I was the president of the Marlins when the Jared Cozart thing happened in 2015, and he had a problem with illegal gambling. It was not on baseball. MLB found that it was not on baseball, and there was a punishment, and that was that. However, in this instance, DraftKings is not really the issue. DraftKings is legal. It is a partner, and I should say they're a sponsor of mine. However, DraftKings, it is in their best interest to not have any funny stuff going on with players or with anything regarding the integrity, because if fans think that it's not a level playing field and that players are doing something to make it so if you don't have inside information, then you're going to lose, people won't bet on sports. And at the end of the day, that's what the gambling company want. The gambling companies want you to gamble on sports responsibly, but they want you to think that you have a chance. And that's why the story in the NBA, the story with Ohtani, anything regarding gambling and players or referees is a problem.
30 seconds. You're a Major League Baseball player. Can you legally bet on other sports? Can you bet on the NFL? Can you bet on the NHL in season?
Yes, you can. You just have to do it in a legal way, never with a bookmaker. You can use the apps like DraftKings to make bets in states where it's legal. And the fact that people wouldn't know the difference between a bookie and DraftKings, I find that impossible to believe.
He's David Samson. In 47 minutes, he will record today's Nothing Personal with David Samson. He will do it live. Download it. Watch it live. Although don't turn away from us. Download it after the fact.
Download it.
There you
I'm
go.
okay with that.
All
and then
right.
come see me on tour. Tour starts a week from today in Philadelphia. Nothing Personal live with David Samson.
Wow, concert t-shirts and everything. He's becoming a BFD. Follow him on X at David the letter P Samson.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Huge game for our Wings tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be nice today. Oh, gorgeous. I'm having a pool day. Just decided. You making protein for Easter? Are you making protein for Easter?
Am I making protein for
Any?
Easter?
Are you like?
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
we'll do a rack of lamb. It looks like
Okay, lamb. Wow.
this thing here has this is the on today was a day when thing that I
Yeah.
look up. Literally just says Michigan State Spartans snaps Indiana State's 33-game winning streak. Nothing about the title.
Oy.
That's the biggest college basketball. I mean, that usually like the big things are in like black, like
Right.
the highlighted. I can't believe that's not highlighted.
Yeah, it's the biggest. Still to this day, it's the highest rated.
So the on this day thing, David, that I go to literally says Michigan State Spartans snaps Indiana State's 33-game winning streak. Nothing about it being for the title.
Huh. That's all it says, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Still the highest rated college basketball game ever. And the reason I brought up DraftKings is just with all the legalized gambling. I wasn't lumping them in or trying to with illegal bookmaking there.
No, I thought that was good.
Gambling's here to stay.
Yeah,
So if you're running a sports league,
I thought that was a great question.
oh, the bridge collapse. Apparently there was a power failure, it looks like, on the boat a minute before the collision. Like the lights on the boat apparently went out. They're investigating that. They're wondering if the operator of the boat, lost his ability to steer it. First thing I thought when I saw it was, did the guy fall asleep? Well, the other thing, OK Music, is that if Iowa's in the final,
Here we go. Sorry.
it's on a Sunday.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Josh Pastner is taking a couple different teams to the tournament. He's now working for 3 different media outlets. He's pretty good at television. I'm sure he wants to get back into the coaching thing, but if he were to go full-time talking college hoops, he'd have a pretty good career. He joins us coming up in about 40 minutes time. Pat Kirwan, little more than an hour, live from the NFL's owners meetings. And today they will likely decide on what to do, if anything, with the kickoffs. Yesterday they eliminated the swivel hip drop tackle, not to be confused with the hip drop tackle.
Yeah, the swivel is key. It's all about the swivel. Because that determines whether or not they're blowing the whistle or throwing the flag, any of that stuff. It's got to be the
Really?
swivel hip drop.
what's the difference?
I don't know.
I thought it was all about that base. That base.
That's right where I was going. It's right where I was going, David.
But apparently
level?
it's the swivel. I thought it was about the base. All right. So there you have it. What'd you think about what David Samson had to say?
I mean, other than that, his idea there should have never been a press conference or a statement read or any part of that. I'm with him that Major League Baseball wants this to go away.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many news outlets that are now digging that this isn't going to go away.
Well, and think about it. How, if you're the LA Times, are you going to get your information? Don't you basically have to get it from the feds? Because the illegal bookmaker is how this story emerged. Because since the feds are cracking down on this illegal bookmaker, and all of a sudden Otani's interpreter is, lost $5 million or thereabouts betting with him. There are some that says it's actually a lot more than that, but we'll just stick with the $4.5 million till it's proven otherwise. I'm
trying to figure out how. I've got a couple of friends that are rich. I don't know if they've got $4.5 million in their bank account, but I've got a couple of friends that are rich.
Oh, your one buddy's got 4.5.
Probably.
Yeah.
But outside of his brothers, I don't know who would have access to the money.
Well, right. That's my thing.
I don't know who in their right mind would allow their friend, however close a friend it is.
Hey, buddy. Right. He said, buddy? Yeah. My best bud. I'd take a bullet for my best friend. He doesn't have anything to do with my money.
And you don't have anything to do with his.
No.
And it doesn't make any sense to most of us that a friend would have access to our account.
Right.
To pull off this heist.
Now,
No, this is a heist. David, this is a hell of a heist. If this interpreter is that bright that he was able to steal $4.5 million without it being known, he is a really good criminal.
Now, people do steal money from other people all the time, though. People do get access to our accounts. We have to, cybersecurity and all that. So, he has to be either an incredible thief to have gotten a hold of Otani's banking information to be able to have pulled this off.
Or it's simply Otani's involved and they're just trying to dance around.
He paid off his debts.
Yes, right.
Which I got to be honest with you, in this country, I don't know about in Japan, I don't know about worldwide. If Otani paid off his buddy's $4.5 million gambling debts and still kept him around on the payroll, he's still his buddy. Do you know what his stock would be in this country? It would go through the roof. Are you kidding? I don't know about anywhere else in the world, but in this country?
Yeah, that's likable. It's funny.
Oh, my goodness.
No ticky, no laundry. I don't understand. I cannot comprehend this story, David. I really cannot.
But
I can't understand how he could have someone steal $4.5 million from him, and I can't understand Otani giving him $4.5 million to pay off his debts.
Right. Either
Both
side.
of them seem unbelievable to me. That's why I'm having so much trouble with this.
And an important piece of this, I think, that we've mentioned, but maybe not enough, is that Otani's contract that he just signed is backloaded. Like, he doesn't have all that money right now.
Yes, he does.
Well,
the endorsements, the playing.
I know. Yeah, I'm just saying that when you see that he signed that record-breaking contract, it's not like he has that money right now. It's not like here's $4.5 million. It's still $4.5 million.
It is. Apparently in $500,000 payments. So, so to believe it, this guy was stealing it, and the reason he was only sending $500,000 at a time was what? So that Otani wouldn't notice?
He would have noticed $4.5 million at once, but not $500,000 nine times.
Nine different times,
right? Nine times.
Imagine writing yourself a check for $500,000. That wouldn't suck, unless you're doing it illegally, of course.
I paid off a mortgage one time. That check had, a lot of numbers in it and all that, but I couldn't imagine if I was signing it over to a guy. Who's this going to? My guy. Really? Yeah. I owe him the money. Think about what it would open up for Otani. Otani could make guest appearances in like gangster movies. Okay. Hour-long dramas. Think about it. Is he good for it? Damn right he's good for it. Besides, I'm buddies with Ohtani. I mean, it would end up being lines in movies. Is he good for it? Yeah, he's buddies with Ohtani.
The Godfather Part 4 starring Shohei Ohtani.
Definitely a couple bars in a rap song that are coming out there and have Ohtani in it.
That's what I was thinking too. Lyrics, references, SNL.
I know Kendrick just dropped his new album, but it's a little late for that, but maybe he's got something else in the works.
You never know.
All right, a lot less to choose from for young Trent last night. So I'm kind of curious as to what the play of the day is going to be.
Well, David, your favorite team took on my favorite team, which is also the worst team in my favorite franchise's history. It's Knicks Pistons, baby. Knicks won it by 25 and held the Pistons under 100 points. But a huge catalyst for that was Villanova's own Dante DiVincenzo, 11 threes. Here's how Mike Breen called the 11th one.
Here's a three. Bang! There it is, number 11. Dante DiVincenzo. And now they're going to take him out. Well, the record is 14, and he's got 11. And now we'll get a much-deserved standing ovation.
Standing O at the Garden for Dante DiVincenzo. I love the bang call almost as much as Felipe. Not as much, but almost as much. DiVincenzo finished with 40 points, and the Knicks are fourth in the East, just a half game behind the Cavaliers. Basketball's better when the Knicks are good, and your life is better when your house is clean. So call Molly Maid.
There you go. See, look at that. 774-5839. I wasn't even ready for that. Molly Maid, proud sponsor of the play of the day. Call him today, 239-774-5839.
We have no evidence that the NBA is better when the Knicks are good, at least not in the last 20 plus years. We have a lot of evidence that life is better when your house is clean, though. I mean, honestly, in terms of contributing to society at large, the Knicks are Molly Maid.
Molly Maid. It's not
Molly
even close.
Maid. Right. Absolutely.
Well, I'll agree with that for sure. But David, there's always a team. You know, my Pistons haven't been good in 15 years. There's always a team I got to hitch my wagon to in the playoffs. I'm riding the Knicks.
Wow.
I don't know what that means for you. That might be horrible news,
Probably.
but I think they can make a run.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
A lot of Villanova talent on that team.
Just curious, Dante DiVincenzo, you think he and Ohtani star in Godfather 4?
And Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy Cutlet's agent is for sure in it.
Oh, no doubt. He's the interpreter. Couldn't you see that? Dresses like Kim Mulkey, for goodness sakes.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. So I don't know where he saw it or heard it, but talking to my kid yesterday, and he said, what if, and he heard this somewhere, so it's not his original idea, but what if the conference championship games for the Big Ten and the SEC turned into play-in games for the last playoff spot, as opposed to an irrelevant game of 1 versus 2 that both teams are getting into the playoff?
So last year, like Iowa, if they would have somehow beat Michigan, they would have made the playoff because they wouldn't have.
Right, but Iowa wouldn't play Michigan. Iowa would play Michigan State. Like, in theory, Ole Miss would have played Tennessee last year. Like I don't have the exact standings in front of me.
Well, the problem is Ole Miss would have been competing with Penn State for the final spot in the playoff last year. But you're saying for the final SEC representative?
Right, that 4 plays 5.
Okay, I forgot they're guaranteed a certain number. So
yeah, I don't know how many people would want to watch that.
Who would? But the 1 versus 2 is not of consequence anymore.
Well, seeding, buys, home games, that's the only thing that's going to be.
I like it. I like that idea.
So try to turn the conference championship game into essentially
a play-in game,
the Missouri Valley Conference title game.
Yes. Yes.
Or Dayton, for that matter. You're
right. Interesting.
You win one, you're going dancing. And then you get to play.
But in all honesty, what if you've got the team that's like, no, we'll take our chances with the bubble. We think we're in.
You've eliminated that. Because they get their 3, or if they get your 4, the 4 is determined by the play-in. So 4 plays 5 in each conference.
But if I'm 4, why do I want to play 5? First off, I may have already played them and beat them. But secondly, I'm ahead of them in the standings. Why do I want to play them again? I got nothing to gain here.
Or what if one said the same thing? I'm undefeated. Everybody else has a loss. I've got nothing to gain by playing in this conference championship game.
Well,
it just goes back to your theory on games of consequence.
No, I hear you. It's just in basketball, we're conditioned to it and we're okay with it. And I know what you're saying. In theory, you're trying to set up a win or go home. Because if you don't make the playoff, essentially you're done. Sonny, we got women's hoops lines on the Hard Rock app, right? I mean, we bet the Iowa game last night.
Yeah, it's there.
We bet FGCU on Saturday.
We're 1-1 in women's basketball this year.
No, I know, EB Hill. You said you had NC State in the Final Four. You're thinking they're going to pull a UConn here, win 5 in the conference tournament, and then just keep on keeping on. I got to say, they're a likable team. Coach is likable. Love the big fella. They eat ice cream after they win. I mean, what's not to like?
CBS trying to have a personality, David. Here's some ice cream.
Good, wholesome story. Their little brother.
I'll tell you what I want for the Elite 8. I got to have Arizona, UNC. I want Caleb Love completely. Yes. I mean, he's going to jack up 30 shots. It's just a matter of if they go in playing his old school. I mean, come on. That'd be awesome.
Think about the road for Carolina. Bama, Arizona. That ain't easy.
No.
That's a lot of athleticism right there. Should be entertaining games.
Oh, Auburn just taking me out to the woodshed in the first round. All that research for nothing. That's why March Madness is the best, though.
That's why it's awesome.
It's the greatest.
And not only that, as the upset has a chance to happening, and it will destroy you.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Josh Pastner at the top of the hour. We'll talk about the tournament thus far and look ahead to some of the Sweet 16 matchups with the former Memphis and Georgia Tech head coach, Pat Kirwan, to join us 1 hour from now live from the NFL owners' meetings. Our poll question: do you believe Ohtani's story that his ex-interpreter stole the $4.5 million from him? Yay or nay? So far,
80% of you say no.
No way. All right. If we ask this poll question, then we're going to move on to something else. But if we ask this poll question, gut feeling, if one of these two stories is true, A, the guy stole the money from him. He's the one with the gambling problem. Or B, Ohtani's the gambler and the interpreter's taking the fall. If I can assure you that one of those two storylines is true, and as a viewer, this is like a television show, grab your remote, vote accordingly. Which storyline?
We're asking the audience for help?
Wasn't there a TV show one time that asked the audience to pick the ending or something like that?
I don't know about that.
So if I could assure you that one of these two storylines is true, because Ohtani's saying none of these two storylines is true. Okay. It's A, Ohtani paid off his buddy's gambling debts, but now he wants to disavow himself from the buddy in doing that. Or B, the buddy's the fall guy.
Well, we're into a conspiracy theory in this country, and I think that the 80-20 would be the same way if that was up, that Ohtani was gambling.
Because even the fall guy, when he was on the record talking to the LA Times and ESPN, he went out of his way to say, listen, got nothing to do with him. This is all me. This is all me. I'm the gambler. I'm the guy losing the money. He doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't gamble. Okay. All right. I get it. So, that's all. Just kind of curious.
Where would you lean? Because I would lean that Ohtani's, if it's one of those two, I would lean that Ohtani's the gambler.
Yeah, I'm gonna be David Samson here. I'm gonna be the guy voted off of Survivor. I'm going to, and I'm usually not this naive, but I'm just gonna say that the interpreter's got the gambling problem. Ohtani paid off his debts. And then once it became public, which it never would have until the feds went after this illegal bookmaker, okay, once it went public, Ohtani's like, well, I can't be involved in anything that's, even associated with illegal activity. So I got to cut you loose. This is Goodfellas, okay? Calls him over, brings him to the house, reaches into his pocket, hands him like $312 and says, I got to let you go.
You're dead to me.
You're dead to me. Yep. So I'm going with that one right now. Couldn't you just picture that? Ohtani and the interpreter. Ohtani reaching into his pocket.
I nearly just sent you a text on the show saying, can I borrow $2 million? Because I'm having difficulty with you believing that. And we don't do shtick on the show. No,
we don't.
We're not doing one take one take the other. We don't do that. We don't have time for that. But I know. I'm a little
surprised,
taken aback.
I know
that $4.5 million is gone, and you actually believe that could have been stolen.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
sorry.
Remember,
that Ohtani paid it off. I'm sorry.
that Ohtani paid it off.
Here it is. I'll pay off your $4.5 million of debt, and now you're dead to me.
Yeah, but think about, and I'm okay. Just imagine it was you and me. I'm being serious here. And one of us is making 50, 60, 70 million a year. Because that's what Ohtani's making off the field. Might even be making more than that. He could be making 100 million a year for all we know. I mean, how big he is on the other side of the world. So, I mean, Mark, in all honesty, what's $4.5 million? I mean, you and I, if we, and you know, we're tight. We're not best friends. We're good friends. We would do a lot for the other. Okay. If I had 100 million in the bank, there's a list of people that I'd pay off their gambling debts. I would. I got the money. I would. If I had 100 million in the bank, with the promise, by the way, of basically $1 billion coming my way over the next 20 years, you mean to tell me I wouldn't pay off your $4.5 million? Of course I would.
And David, I think that that's all well and good. And I believe that you would. Here's the problem I have with it, however. What bookmaker is going to let an interpreter run up a $4.5 million tab?
Oh,
I mean, I know bookies. I know I could get a line of credit for a couple $1,000s right now with at least 2 different bookies.
Right.
One just texted me.
And did you text him back and says Moulton's good for it?
Right. I just don't see how you could get that line of credit without the money to pay it off.
Well, what if you say, yeah, but I'm tight with Moulton. Moulton's good for it.
Moulton's not betting with me.
Okay.
That's where I have the problem.
I got you.
Is that I just don't see how the bookie,
right,
the guy who runs the illegal gambling operation that's based on cash,
right,
is going to give the interpreter a $4.5 million line of credit. $21,000. That's the text line.
Meanwhile, there's the other legitimate gambling story, if you will. I mean, these are the facts, and they are indisputable, as they like to say. Raptors forward Jontay Porter played in 2 games over the last 2 months in which he had the single most money bet for or against him on prop lines of all the players in the NBA. Jontay Porter. And in the first game on January 26th, he plays for the Raptors, by the way. And he averages like 6 points, 5 rebounds a game, 2-3 assists. You know, role player, plays 18, 20-something minutes. First game, he plays 4 minutes. Leaves, says he re-aggravated an eye injury from the previous game. Doesn't come back in the game. Well, all the prop money was bet like against him on the under. And it all won. Huh. Interesting. Then March 20th, nearly 2 full months later, exact same situation. Whole bunch of prop money, almost all of it on the under. He plays 3 minutes. Says he didn't feel well. Leaves the game. Now, it should be pointed out, isn't he making league minimum? I mean, isn't he making like $450,000? Like, I don't,
he's on a non-guaranteed 2-way contract with the Raptors.
Right.
He'll be a restricted free agent this summer if the team tenders him a $1.87 million qualifying offer.
But his salary this year, isn't it like $450,000? So he's not, I mean, you're in the NBA and you're, quote, making millions and, what do you know? Well, he's not making millions yet. Number one. And, yeah, this is deemed suspicious activity. in the gambling community. And so, yeah. Do you think we're going to see Tim Donaghy pop up on sports talk radio shows the
Of
rest of this
course.
week?
Surprised we didn't try to get him on ours.
I'll try for tomorrow.
I know we've got his number.
Well, I know our old producer does. I don't know if I do. I'll call him. So anyway, you got that story out there.
And it's a wild one. I mean, when these underbets are the most popular underbets for the night for an obscure player who averages less than 5 points a game.
Well, those are the shadiest ones, right? When it goes under, because that means you clearly have control over that. Overs are tougher.
Right.
Obviously, because you have to actually play the game and get the points. But the under, you can just, my eye hurts.
His over-under for that game was 7.5 points.
Which one? The first one or the second?
First one.
Okay, he played 4 minutes. Now, you can score 8 points in 4 minutes, but normally if you score 8 points in 4 minutes, you play more than 4 minutes.
But both times he came out early. Once he's sick, once because of his eye.
Right. Ah, my eye!
Yeah, nothing that shows up on an x-ray, nothing that...
I will say there's part of this that... Like's not the right word, but I'm impressed with how quickly they are... that this is coming out. Because if you are a gambler... and here's some player trying to game the system, or player and his friends trying to game the system, they got caught.
Well, and also think about it, role player, bad team. I mean, haven't the Raptors lost like 10 in a row here? I mean, the Raptors are tanking. They have to finish with one of the 6 worst records in the league to hold on to their first-round pick. Otherwise, Utah gets it. So the Raptors are in a full-fledged tank.
Right. They sold off Siakam. They're under the radar.
Yeah, OG to the Knicks. Right. They sold off damn near all their good players with Scotty Barnes. Right. People right now are like, wow, I didn't even know these guys played for the Raptors.
But that's the thing. To Mark's point, that's probably part of it. That's probably why some of these guys or whoever's involved with this, the Raptors aren't any good. They won't notice a thing. They play in Canada.
They don't knock down casinos to build smaller ones.
No. But if you think about it, if you were to try to, let's pull off a little game here. You'd pick a role player on a bad team, and you wouldn't want to try to skim the game. Let's just try to do it with prop bets. I mean, you average what, 5.5 points a game?
Who would you want in your pocket for one game? I'd want a kicker. Kicker or a goalie? You give me a kicker or a goalie, I can do a goalie, probably the best. Goalie would be number 1. Kicker would be number 2.
Because you figure even if the goalie gets pulled, he's given up 5 goals in a period and a half. You can probably, that's the over-under in a lot of cases.
What about a pitcher?
Pitcher gets pulled pretty quickly, but yes, pitcher would be up there.
I mean, come on, just take the under on his strikeouts or something.
But I mean, a field goal kicker prop, he's going to miss an extra point. Done.
Well, I will say, I don't know if they're going to have the streaker bet in the Super Bowl ever again, because the guy who won it, he was the streaker.
Right.
Genius. Absolutely genius.
Apprehended, paid the fine. Yeah. Trust me, my winnings are paying this fine.
Paid for the fine, paid for the ticket.
Yep. How are you going to pay for this? Throw it on my Amex. I'm good. I got to get over to the Bellagio, get my winnings. And this is the downside. You and I, we pounded the table for 15 years about legalized sports betting and make it widespread. And there's a lot that you could do. You tax it, regulate it. There's a lot you can do with an unbelievable amount of money. And it's a user tax, because if you don't gamble, it doesn't affect you. In theory, it could only benefit you, right? Better roads or schools or what have you. That'll make your community better, in theory. But we took a lot of heat from a lot of people for 15 years going, guys, there's a downside to this. You guys are ignoring it, or you're just sweeping it to the side.
And
here
that's
we go.
true. We were.
Yeah.
We've always thought the good outweighed the bad, and there is definitely bad. There's addictions that come with gambling. There are people that are going to lose all kinds of money because they can't have any control over their betting.
But we also argued that, believe it or not, if a little point shaving or something was going on, if you legalize it, you're much more aware of it because nobody tracks the betting like Vegas does. Vegas alerts the feds as to what's going on. Vegas calls the commissioners of the leagues up and go, yeah, the Panthers-Texans game, there's some funky stuff going on there. Let your security department know. Josh Pastner, talking the madness, next.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA-certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA-certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
We may have to be flexible about Pat because they may have just booked because he's
sitting in the hotel lobby, basically.
Yeah, and they've already booked 2 owners interviews with him at and that's why he couldn't do 8, and so we pushed it back, and now they may be booking Dan Campbell for him at 8:30.
Well, if we do the bonus hour, we can just, we don't have to
Well,
worry
just
about
tell him
breaks.
to have Dan call.
Well,
Trent will answer.
I will pass out.
What would you do to, like, I mean, when we did these Super Bowls and had Barry Sanders and things like that, would you be okay?
I'd be fine. I'd be nervous to interact at all, but I would definitely say something to the tune of, "Hey, I really appreciate everything you've ever done in your entire life. Thank you." Just me. For Detroit athletes / figures, I think Barry would probably be number one. Like, I would be the most nervous to talk to Barry Sanders for sure.
Which is funny because if you ever met him, he's so laid back and soft spoken, and I think you'd snap out of it quickly.
Well, that's good. It's good to know in case that day ever comes. Other end of that spectrum, Rodman. I'd be like, "What's up?"
Is this the meeting where we get the coach's picture? Is this the owners' meeting where we get the picture of all the coaches? Because they're there too, right?
Yeah, isn't that we get them and then they go play golf?
Yeah.
Right. This is when we'd get the Belichick picture.
Oklahoma gave Indiana a game, looked like.
Oh, yeah. Well, FGC would have given him a game.
Okay, Josh is good, and here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the 8 o'clock hour, third and final hour of Miller and Moulton along the network. The Diamond District bonus hour is an hour away. Pat Kirwan joins us live from the NFL's owners meetings in about 35 minutes time. Thrilled to be joined once again by Josh Pastner, who's so good at doing the basketball on television thing that he was hired by ESPN, NBC, and CBS this year. That's after he led 5 teams in the NCAA tournament over 14 years and won 4 conference titles as a head coach. You can follow Josh on X at Coach the letter J Pastner, Coach the letter J Pastner, Pastner. Josh, it's David and Mark. Thanks for your time. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it. Great time of the year. Great games. Thursday, really Tuesday through Sunday, if you include the first 4, and then obviously some great matchups coming up this Thursday and Friday. So a lot to look forward to.
Well, there's some people that are calling this the UConn Invitational. If you were playing UConn, how would you go about trying to slow down this team?
Well, UConn is really good. And I think in the last decade, they're the best team that has won a championship, that has the best chance to repeat as national champions in the last decade. They've got the best opportunity to do so. there's not a lot you can do to slow them down. They are so efficient offensively. I love Tristan Newton. I love just the way they play and how they share the ball. Everything about them is just at a high level. And you look at a guy like Stefan Castle, who's projected to be, a first-round pick, and you look at him, and I'm sorry, I got my son in the background making some noise back there.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Hearing noise, that's him. But if you look at Stefan Castle, now that he's shooting the ball better from 3-point range, what that's done is completely taking away where anybody could not or help off of anyone on UConn. And so that allows everyone to have to be guarded. And it's just one of those things where, and I want to just step out here so it'd be easier, but that's just one of those things where UConn becomes so dangerous to guard because of the fact that there's nobody you can help off of. And they are so good offensively. They defend. They take Coach Hurley's personality, and it's what makes them so good. And I just think they've got a great opportunity to repeat. Now, I've picked Houston to win it all, but UConn has the best chance in the last decade, as I mentioned earlier, to repeat as champions, which is rarefied air, obviously, to do that.
Josh, if somebody in the region that they're in before the Final Four is going to take them down, you've got two rock fight teams in Iowa State and San Diego State. They'll keep the score down, very physical. And then you got Illinois. Okay, which style of play do you think has the best chance to match up with UConn? Okay, in the trenches, keep it low, or Illinois, who could put 80 or 90 on anybody?
Well, a couple things. I love Iowa State. In fact, I've picked Iowa State to come out of that region. I think it's a Houston Cougar Iowa State final when it's all said and done. I think Iowa State's really good. I do think I've been in the minority picking.
Did we lose them?
We kind of did.
Let me try calling him back real quick.
Okay. Josh Pastner. How about that? He's got Iowa State coming out of the East. Hope they play a little better than they did against Washington State. I'll tell you that. That was ugly.
Yeah, but those, if he's going for that style, that's the coach right there. Like in that defense, the thing they can control the most. Play hard defense, play your tail off, and that's, not shocked to see coaches loving that style.
Boy, it'd be an all Big 12 final. Iowa State won the conference tournament.
CBS would love that final.
Not.
Got UConn, North Carolina, Purdue with the two-time player of the year. You got Duke still hanging around. Yeah, give me Iowa State and Houston.
Hello. Listen, about the only thing that I picked Houston. That might be the only team I have left still in the tournament, Mark. That's how bad my bracket is. I do think this is the worst bracket I've ever filled out. In 30 years of doing brackets, I'm pretty sure this is the worst bracket I've ever filled out. All right, Josh, let's move along because we only got a few minutes left.
I'm sorry about that. I got cut off, but I was just saying about the Iowa State UConn. I think I'm picking Iowa State in the Elite Eight. I don't think I love the fight in the Illini and Brad Underwood's Illinois team. I don't know if you heard me say that, but they do have some holes defensively. They're extremely talented. But I think in the end, it's going to be an Iowa State UConn. Wouldn't shock me to see UConn win, but I am picking Iowa State. I just think they're the closest team that resembles the University of Houston, who they are defensively.
Bama against North Carolina. Obviously, two teams love to go up and down the floor. I think both teams would be comfortable playing the game in the 90s. Can Bama defensively beat Carolina?
Yeah, I just think, and I said this before the tournament, I think Carolina and Arizona have the easiest path. When I say easy, I mean, look, you got to go win the games and everything to get to the Final Four. Now, only one of those two teams can get there, but I don't think either one's going to get stopped before they get to the Elite Eight, and I think it's a complete toss-up. Arizona versus North Carolina in the Elite Eight. I would probably side with Arizona only because of the home court in the West Coast. They travel so well. They're going to have the entire crowd there in Los Angeles, and it'll be a pro-Arizona crowd. But I just don't see Carolina and Arizona not advancing to the Elite Eight. I said when the brackets came out, I thought the West region was the easiest region for the 1 and 2 seeds to advance and meet. And that would still hold true. Nothing against Clemson and Brad Brunell, who's played Arizona, who's outstanding. Same thing with Nate Oates in Alabama. But I just don't see those two teams being knocked off by either Clemson or Alabama. And Alabama can score. They've got Mark Sears, who's an outstanding scorer. The best in the SEC in terms of points per game. You guys know Alabama plays as fast as anybody. They don't shoot any mid-range jump shots. Everything's a three-pointer or an attack at the rim. It's all about speed on how they play. But in the end, I just think when you got the ACC Player of the Year, you got with Baycott and Ingram, I do think Carolina has holes defensively now. There's things with them defensively that can cause that teams can beat them. Same thing with Arizona. I think both those teams are flawed. But I also think they both got the easiest region when you're looking at the overall deal.
Gonzaga and Purdue played already this year. It was a 10-point game. Both obviously have changed throughout the year, but the Zags have the bigs to maybe be able to try to slow down the Player of the Year. Do you think Gonzaga has enough to stop down Edey and Purdue?
No, I think Purdue's winning. I don't see how Purdue's not going to be in Detroit. I think with those two being, obviously they won the first two games in Indianapolis. I think what they did to Utah State, which is a really good basketball team, should set a tone for everyone to fully understand. Doing a lot of work with the Big Ten this year. I know how good Purdue is. Zach Edey's amazing. The whole key down to Purdue is going to come down to Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer. I mean, it's just, as much as they got with Lance Jones, the transfer from Southern Illinois has been a big addition for them in a lot of areas. It all comes down to Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer. If those two guys have a terrible night, yeah, I would say Purdue can lose, but it's those two guys. It's those two guys, and they can afford with one of the two not playing well and still win. Obviously, if both played bad, that's what happened last year in the first round of the tournament. Both were bad, and they lost. But I just think, look, Braden Smith's they're a year older. He's one of the best point guards in the country. Fletcher Lawyer's playing at a high level. I just think those two guys are going to be played well enough for Purdue to advance and get to Glendale, Arizona.
Is Duke tough enough for Houston?
Well, I'll tell you what, Duke did not play well prior to coming in this tournament. Losing to North Carolina at home for an opportunity to win an ACC regular season championship. Then they lost in their first opportunity in the ACC tournament. I don't think they've been playing well, but to their credit, they beat a good James Madison team and looked really good. And they didn't just beat them; they crushed them. I thought they were solid versus Vermont. So Duke's not winning the game versus Houston. I mean, again, nothing against Vermont, nothing against James Madison. Two good programs, but neither of them are even in the same stratosphere of Duke talent-wise, NBA prospects. Just the amount of talent. So Duke's not beating Houston. I thought Duke, who had not been playing well, got a great draw to get to the Sweet 16. But one Vermont opening game and then playing either James Madison or Wisconsin in the second round. And it was very favorable for Duke. I think it ends for Duke versus Houston on, this week. But I will say, if Duke wants to change the narrative about just like you asked the question, are they tough enough? There's no better opportunity to do that against a team like Houston this week.
When you look at the rest of that region, does the run of NC State end with Marquette, or could they have one more game before they get to Houston?
You know what? I think no matter whoever plays, I think Houston's advancing out of there. But I think North Carolina State can give Marquette a little bit of a run. I mean, the way they're playing right now, and DJ Burns is such a hard matchup. Now, I think Marquette's really good. They've got one of the best point guards in the country, if not the best, in the way he can see the floor and pass the ball. I mean, I love Marquette's group, but I do think NC State, DJ Burns, he lives and dies by he catches it on the long post. When I say the long post, he catches it right by the 3-point line or a few feet in and backs you down and starts backing you down. And he's such a great passer. He can really pass the ball. So you have to make a decision. Do you double him or not? And then when guys like Casey Morcell are making threes or McConnell is, attacking closeout, it changes. DJ Horn, when he's making shots, it really changes the deal. And Diarra has been playing. I mean, his rebounding numbers are, if you look at his stats on his rebounding, it's out of this world.
Josh?
And,
Josh, we're up against a hard break. Want to thank you for coming on. These are the
appreciate you guys having. I know I could be long-winded. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Josh.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, hop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Want to go Dion here?
Sure.
Tell Josh I'm sorry for cutting him off.
It'd be really nice if our only hard break was at the end of the hour.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I get it.
We tried that, and the equipment we had was not working right, not queuing breaks at all in the network, so we couldn't do it.
Now, who knows with this new way that we're going to be distributed. I'll ask the guy doing it whether or not we still need to have a hard break times or not.
Yeah, I think we do.
I think we do also.
I mean, it's pretty unproblematic. The only, I mean, maybe once a week we're up against it. Not counting Pat.
No, Mongo. We're just trying to grab more affiliates.
Going national.
Going national. That's hysterical.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Our show's better than what airs on ESPN in the mornings, but yeah, just not going to happen.
David, you haven't eaten much during this show.
No, I haven't. In fact, I haven't eaten anything during the show. What little I had before the show.
Just something I noticed.
Well, I'm told it's rude. But I don't know what to do. I'm hungry. So.
And you got to be nice
So
on the face.
My daughter got an Easter, like not basket, but Easter gifts from one of the ladies at church who kind of just does nice things for my daughter all the time.
Okay.
Bought her a bunch of candy and a 1 pound milk chocolate Easter bunny.
Oh, yeah.
Which my daughter opens, takes a bite out of, and then just sets it in the pantry. Every time I open the pantry door, you know what's staring at me?
A big
A
thing
damn
of
bunny.
chocolate. Right. Well, just start eating it.
I do.
Okay.
She said to me yesterday, "You took a bite, Dad." I said, "I took 3.
Yeah.
Dad, don't leave it there. I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, I don't know, honey. It's free. Okay. Did you pay for it?
Did you have any cake pops yesterday?
No, I had one the day before, so I took yesterday off.
So you're back at it today. Maybe.
The cake pops are good too. I'm telling you. Wife did a hell of a job. These are going to be a big hit next year at the bake sale at the Catholic school.
The cake pops?
Yeah. If they have a bake sale. Seems very Catholic school-esque.
I was going to say, are you allowed to be a Catholic school and not have a bake sale? Yeah, E.B. Hill asked for Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, although we've never asked Trent his thoughts yet. But
well, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Pat Kirwan scheduled to join us in a little more than 15 minutes live from the NFL owners' meetings. Some news has come out of Orlando this morning, Mark. Nothing earth-shattering, but they announced the Hall of Fame game. You know, for some of you that, you are jonesing, and that is the first time you see helmet and shoulder pads. And that, for some of you, is enough. You've made it. And you're going to be able to make it 5 more weeks until the season kicks off. Really, only about 3 or 4 more till the college season kicks off. August 1st, Mark. For those of you that just need to see helmet and shoulder pads, even if all the players wearing them you don't recognize. Houston and Chicago. Texans and Bears. C.J. Stroud, the Ohio State guy, will he even play a few snaps in Canton?
No, he won't.
Caleb Williams, will he play for the Bears? Rookie quarterback, expected to be first overall pick. First chance to get him on the field. There you go. August 1st.
How many
Circle it.
snaps will Ryan Tannehill take when the Bears sign him at some point this summer?
That could be a poll question coming up soon. Where does Ryan Tannehill end up? Chicago, Denver, his couch.
I'll vote Chicago.
I'm voting
Although I
Denver.
think Denver would be a better place.
Yeah, I'm voting Denver.
Placeholder either way.
Yep.
As both are expected to take quarterbacks.
So there you go. And that's because you figured Bears, they got what? Steve McMichael, and I don't say this lightly, if he can live to see that day, but he's going in. And Hester's going in, right?
Correct.
And is Andre Johnson going in? The Texans wide receiver? Did he get in?
Yeah.
So there you go. Texans Bears Hall of Fame game. August 1st. I think it's a Thursday. They play the game now before Hall of Fame weekend. That's like the kickoff, pardon the pun, to Hall of Fame weekend. They play it on a Thursday, and then, all the Hall of Fame stuff Friday and the ceremonies Saturday night. Friday is when they do the dinner and they actually give the guys their sport coats.
Shouldn't they have their coats on Thursday? I mean, if you're going to play the game on Thursday, shouldn't they be able to walk around in their jackets on Thursday?
Well, they're not in the Hall of Fame yet. I mean, it's like being president-elect. You're not president yet. You're just president-elect. We had Trump in the booth after he had won in 2016 at Army-Navy. And so, you want to, it flows off the tip of your tongue, hello, Mr. President. Congratulations, Mr. President. Then you got to throw in a hyphen and another word.
What did you go with?
I shook his hand and said, "Congratulations, honor to meet you, sir."
All right.
That's what I went with. It's the president of the United States. What else?
I was at a party that he was at long before he was president. I met him like, "Hey, great party, Mr. Trump," and got the hand out, and he shook my hand, said thank you, and walked away. I'm like, I passed that test.
You know me, I'm a handshake.
He's a big dude.
He is a big guy. He is.
That's what floored me when I met him, is how big he is.
President Obama's tall. Also, Trump is tall, but also broad. Right.
And the club champ.
Well, it's his club. So, it's his handicap system than everybody else's. That's it's good to be the king,
damn right,
as they said in a movie once upon a time. So anyway, that's the early news, the 8 a.m. news coming out of the owners' meetings. Expected to vote one way or the other on what they're doing about the kickoff coming up a little later on today.
So did you catch what Dion said? I think it was Sunday. I think it came out Sunday on a podcast.
Well, he's been saying a few things. I caught he said, and I don't know if this is what you were going with because we didn't talk about this, but he said, I don't think it was Sunday, I think it was a week or so ago, that his kid would be the second-rated quarterback in this draft.
Well, he said his kid would be, he said both his kid and the corner are going to be top 4 picks. But it's not that I'm worried about. Or not even worried about that I'm bringing up, because he said if it's the right city. And he said, if not, we'll pull an Eli.
There we go. Hey, there were a lot of concerns Caleb Williams was going to do that to Chicago. A lot of concerns. In the fall, November, December, there were a lot of concerns about Caleb's dad. That behind the scenes, he was difficult.
Hell, I think there are still concerns that he doesn't really want to be in Chicago.
I'm not sure that he does either.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Do you think it's more, excuse me, is it city or franchise that Dion, what do you think he meant?
It's franchise. It's owners.
Okay.
It's certain owners that he doesn't want his kid or Hunter there, the D-back, to play for.
Well, but he has said he does for my son, I really don't want him playing in a bad weather city. I mean, I'd prefer he not play quarterback in a bad weather city.
Well, that's what I mean. It's Dion. I mean, he says things like this. He's about the flash here and there. So I don't know if he legitimately meant the city or if he's referring to, I don't want my kids playing for the Browns.
Well, when he said pulling Eli, it leads a lot. I mean, because that was done because of ownership.
Right. Archie took the lead on that too, so that he took all the heat, and it didn't really, except in the city of San Diego, in which they hated Eli forever. But that didn't stick to Eli entering the league and going forward. Archie took the hit there.
And that's what Dion's doing right now. So just curious your thoughts of Dion saying we're going to pull an Eli.
Well, admittedly, I'm a little biased. I love Prime. Love them.
I understand that you love Prime.
And we've talked over the years about if we had a kid who was that gifted athletically, the things that we would do. All right. And I think it's difficult. It's more difficult going forward, Mark. We were, as athletes and sports people, we were much more accepting of our, quote, fate. Where, okay, we enter the draft, we get drafted by such and such a team, they've got us for so many years. Yeah, that's not the feeling anymore. The feeling is like, no, I don't want to be here. I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play for you. I mean, look in the NBA all the time. I don't, I thought I'd like it here, but we're a year and a half into this 5-year deal. I don't want to be here anymore.
But that's established players who are signing as free agents somewhere. That's not someone that's getting drafted. It is a very different.
But the problem is that if you go to someplace you don't want to go, they, quote, own you for 7 years potentially. The 5-year rookie deal, and then they can go tag. Well, hell, then you're nearly 30. So if you're going to have a power play, when's the best time to have it? Before the draft. You just say, I'm not signing with you. I'll sit out the year. I'll go back into the draft.
It's a lot easier if you're going to be the first overall pick or a top 5 pick. If you're going to be the 14th draft pick, that's tougher to do.
True.
So I'm not certain that these guys are top 4. They might be. I've not started getting into the 25 draft yet.
Well, I don't think Hunter can do that. I don't think as a corner you can do that. For as great as Dion turned out to be, he couldn't do that coming out of Florida State. But a quarterback can do that. Sanders, I think, can say to a team, I ain't playing for you. Don't draft me. You can trade the pick, get as much as you can. I'm not playing for you. And think about right now the teams that we think are going to be drafted in the top 5. Carolina and New England, right? Be 2 of them? What if he just looks both of them in the face and goes, yeah, don't bother. Seriously. I got the money. All right. In fact, if you're serious about this, I'll go back to college.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
You guys heard from Pat?
No. No, Sonny, next year. He did not declare for the draft. Talking about next year.
I just had to balance my checkbook there. So I make sure that my interpreter didn't steal my money. No, Sonny. But he's going to after this coming season. And so Dion's just talked about, where he thinks he'll go in the draft, and also has said, listen, if we don't want to play in that city or with that franchise, then we're going to pull an Eli. And the first time Eli went to the Super Bowl, the Chargers were in the AFC Championship game opposite it. It could have been Rivers against Eli. Of course, they had to beat the undefeated Patriots to do it, and LT didn't play, and Rivers was playing on a torn ACL. Pat's got to cancel.
Okay.
Mike McDaniel just sat down.
I'm with you, Yinzer. The older I get, the less hungry I am in the morning. I wish I was that case at night. Because once the show's over, I just start eating. I need that. I need those shots for the A1C. You're laughing? You don't think I'm asking my doctor the next time I go? Crazy.
Ask your doctor if this is right for you.
Damn right, it's right for me. I need the shots. I don't want to pay $1,000 a month. I need it on a prescription. He is a Hall of Famer, Logic Man. He will be.
Who?
Eli.
Yeah, a quarterback that wins 2 Super Bowls against the Patriots during the height of their. Yeah, I think we put coaches in who win 2 Super Bowls, and although we should have put Tom Flores in a lot faster. Oh, sure.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the hour, Pat Kirwan got called away. It's that damn day job he's got. Got to interview head coaches and owners at the owners' meetings. The head coach of the Dolphins sat down right before he was going to do our show. Boy, can't believe we got bumped for the head coach of the Dolphins. Come on now. Priorities. Pecking order. Can't believe we're below him. So what are we, 65th? 32 owners, which means I guess anyone in a cheesehead can just step in and be the Packers owner for an interview.
So probably 31 because there's no figurehead for the Packers. Then you got 32 GMs and 32 coaches.
So 95. So we're 96th. We're 96th.
By the way, I got a couple buddies who have quote unquote ownership in the Packers, and I just love talking smack to them. Anytime the Packers do something stupid,
you blame them.
I'm like, hey, what are you thinking? What went on in that owner's room?
Listen, if they allowed yahoos like us, all right, Miller and Moulton years ago would have bought into the Packers just so one time we could get in that room and go, what are you doing?
Yeah, and then
Aaron Rodgers. We've got Brett Favre, for goodness sakes. What are you guys doing?
Trust me, I had a field day with that one. The whole Rodgers saga at the end there last year. That was fun.
Forget the end. We would have been there in 05 screaming at him. What are we doing? We got a quarterback.
So we've spent a lot of the show talking Ohtani.
Yeah,
we got this text, David. So Ohtani is a gambler and a liar, or the stupidest person in the world based on the choices we've given.
What if he's just a victim of theft? What if he's just a victim of theft? What if somebody, listen, people steal money from other people all the time. And as people have pointed out to us via text or in the Twitch chat room, celebrities, athletes, they get, millions of dollars stolen from them all the time.
They get duped to, the Madoff thing or an investment here. This is someone stealing money. There's no duping here. Ohtani wasn't investing in condos in LA somewhere.
Well, you could call, the interpreter's name is Mizuhara. Okay. You could just say it turns out he was investing in the development of the Mizuhara project.
You could say that.
You could say that.
But that would be ignorant.
Yeah. It'd be trying to spin it in a more positive way. Yes. That's the part that most of us are having trouble believing. How did this guy get access to your money? He said yesterday a few things, okay? Mizuhara has been stealing money from us and has told lies. I have never bet on baseball or any other sports, nor have I asked someone to do that on my behalf.
Those the told lies part, that is him talking to ESPN the first time. That's what I gather from that. Before he changed his story and said that that Ohtani didn't pay off all his gambling debts.
Now, it's not hard to believe if someone's a thief that they're also a liar, right?
Very true.
If I'm stealing money from you, and there's a good chance that on Tuesday I'll have one story and on Wednesday I'll have another.
Then it goes back to the other part of this text, that Ohtani is not a smart man.
Well, the money part, how in the world did this guy, to believe Ohtani, this guy got access to his money?
And Ohtani didn't have access to his money or was not aware of 9 $500,000 wire transfers. Nine. Not one.
I got
9
you.
times.
I got you. Now, I will say I can believe, I mean, I've never really had money. Doubt that I ever will. All right. But,
well, you never know. Mega Millions is over $1 billion tonight.
Well, and I've bought 2 tickets. I mean, not just one. I've really invested in this. I've bought 2. But when there have been only a few times in my life in which I haven't lived check to check, in which I know whatever befalls me, I know I got the money in the bank. So I just, yeah, fine, put it on a card. Yeah, pay for, yeah, sure. Can we get this? Yeah, absolutely. We can get this. Isn't it essentially the same thing, only at a greater scale? If you've got the money, I mean, do you pay as close to 10? You got the money. I'm loaded. What's difficult for me
rich people in the audience right now. 21,000. Are any of you that careless with your money that have it? I'm curious because David and I don't. This is a gray area for us.
Right. Think about the money you have to have that $500,000 could disappear. And, you just, who knows? You've got investments, you got this, money's constantly coming in and out of the account that, if you're not looking at exactly what the debit is, you could miss it. Is that possible? It seems very far-fetched to 98% of us. Very far-fetched. In fact, 99% of us. So.
And to your points yesterday, this is a guy who's very regimented.
Right.
In all parts of his life, apparently, except his finances.
Well, but, we have seen people that are very regimented, the whole deal, in their athletic life and not in the rest of their life. Personal
Very
behavior.
rarely, though.
Well,
if you're type A, you're usually type A.
It is true. Jake in our Twitch chat room says, I think Jeff Bezos would miss $4.5 million. Actually, I don't.
He wouldn't miss it. He'd notice it.
You think?
Yes, I do.
$500,000 at a time. But so, and of course now that's it. He ain't talking about it. And so we're going to have to wait for the LA Times and ESPN to get tipped off from the feds. I mean, how else are you going to get information? If you go to Ohtani's people, you're getting spin. And if you're ESPN or the LA Times and Ohtani's people wants to give you some information, you're like, well, I want to see some bank records. Okay, that's what I want to see. Okay, this guy alleges that you wrote $500,000 checks to pay off his debts. Show me the bank records. Answer me one question. How in the world did he get access to your money? I got 2 things. Show me the bank records to see if in fact that's true. And then B, how did he get access to it?
Seems far-fetched, David. It really does. I don't know if he was gambling, but it.
Well, that's the other thing, though, is that what if the interpreter ran up a bunch of gambling debts? Honestly. And Ohtani paid him off. I mean, gambling, come on. Ohtani will plead guilty to a misdemeanor of some kind. He'll get probation. All right. And, he was a loyal friend to a fault because sports betting, the way he went about it, first off, it's illegal in California. And the way he was doing it was through a bookie. And that's illegal everywhere. Like Ohtani's reputation couldn't handle that.
And a huge part of this, I think, that David's brought up a couple times is his image in Japan.
That's what I think.
That's why some of the PR has gone the way it has.
And even David Samson agreed to the point of keeping his sponsors happy
Right.
in Japan.
But the story's far-fetched. And David Samson also pointed out, and we did it earlier on the show, boy, is Adam Silver in the NBA thrilled about this Ohtani story, because it looks like they've got a developing situation. Jonte Porter, Raptors forward, being investigated after he skipped out, left early, two games. What, Trent?
He played hooky.
Well, you play hooky, you don't show up at all, right?
Right. He pulled the shoot.
So he played that the bets would go through.
Right. He played.
He's active.
He played, pulled himself one time because of an eye injury. The other time said he was sick.
Played 4 minutes in the first game, 3 minutes in the second. Games 2 months apart. Heavy betting on his prop bets. Now, how much money is normally bet on Jonte Porter and his prop bets? Apparently, it's like $1,000 to $2,000 is how much gets bet on a normal night on Jonte Porter. Apparently, he had the most money bet on him on the prop line those 2 nights in the NBA.
Right. They were the most popular prop bets each night. And not just the total, the unders were the most popular prop bets each time.
And this is when you're Silver, Goodell, Manfred, Bettman. This is what's got to frighten you. I mean, truly, this is what has to frighten you. Because you have how many players in your sports, in your leagues? And think about the infinitesimal percentage that has to get caught up for the public to all of a sudden go, oh boy, we got a problem. I mean, Mark, we got 30 teams in the NBA, 15 guys to a roster. That's 450 players. How many of them need to get caught doing something inappropriate for the public to go, damn, we got a problem?
One, David.
So you think if this is true, just Jonte Porter alone, because I'm thinking the number is 2 or 3, but okay.
I mean, just look at the Twitch chat room. Guys, I'm telling you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's rampant rigging and illegal gambling go on throughout sports. It's only going to get worse. I don't believe that. Maybe I'm naive.
Think about
the fact that this guy got caught so quickly leads me to believe that there is a good system in place to make sure that it's not happening. It's why, to us, we've always been proponents of legal gambling, because the leagues and the casinos want to get to the bottom of this. When you're betting through the guy, it's a lot more likely that things like this could happen. Bookies aren't going to run out and tell the police, hey, I've got an illegal bookmaking business going on, and I think there's some game fixing going on.
Plus, you don't know how much money is being wagered because it's not on the books. So think about it. In the NBA, you got 450 guys. In baseball, 26 times 30, so you have 780. Obviously, in the NFL, if you do 53 times 32, do the math. I mean, that's like 1,700. And then in hockey, you're talking 20 plus, even though only 20 are skate on a given night. Usually 12 forwards, 6 defensemen, 2 goalies. But, do the math there. You got 600-700. How many do you need if you're running a league and you're taking all this money, all of it. FanDuel, DraftKings, the whole deal. You're going to take it all. And then you're encouraging every one of your franchises to strike a deal with the nearest casino to them.
Hell, we're putting books inside stadiums.
Yep.
Well, and to Mark's point too, it's not like this was Kevin Durant or LeBron James. This is Jonte Porter.
Right.
And he got caught like that.
Happens in tennis all the time. They've been dealing with this in tennis for 10 years.
Maybe longer.
Yeah, they can tell right away. I mean, they can tell mid-match if something's going on.
That's why betting table tennis is the way to go, folks.
Miller and Moulton. So we'll reschedule Pat for tomorrow. Working at the damn owners' meetings, whatever.
Big time does again for an NFL coach.
Yeah. Can't believe it.
Unbelievable.
Man, take those Pinter's gift certificates back. You pull this one more time. Diamond District bonus hours next.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Look at that. Linden High School. That's where my dad's family was from. Not one reunion, huh? That's interesting. Especially since a lot of folks stay in the general area. At least for 20 years. Man, I thought I slept decently last night, but I'm yawning.
I slept like a baby.
I did not sleep well Sunday night, but I slept well last night. Gonna have a jam-packed show Thursday because I think we'll have a Marlins radio guy. I think we're going to get the Rays radio guy, and we'll have Vern on tape.
Doing Vern after the show tomorrow? Is that the plan?
Yep. Is that getting in the way of your golf?
No, I don't tee off until after 1.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yep.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour exclusively for the 239. It's just because we love you so much. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Going to have a hell of a show on Thursday. I know we usually just promote the next day, but Vern Lundquist is going to join us. We're going to tape an interview with Vern tomorrow after the show. We'll have Vern Lundquist on the show Thursday, 2 weeks before his final Masters.
His last gig.
Yep, that's it. His 60-plus year sportscasting career coming to an end.
Amazing. Fired up for that one. And tomorrow already, I mean, because Pat had to reschedule, he doesn't realize it yet, but he's coming on the show tomorrow, and so is Seth Everett.
Right. That's at the very least. Right. We got people canceling on us. Got a lot of conflicts going on. Okay. It's as if everyone's involved in March Madness, even though they're not. You know, our show's kind of like study time. They're having trouble fitting it in during the madness. My mother-in-law asked me that question yesterday. She's like going through. She goes, "So when do they have a chance to go to class?" And I go, "Well, they're on the road." I go, "But there is study hall." I said, I've seen it, big room, quiet. They're doing work. I go, "I've seen it. Tutors on the road and everything. For those that want it, for those that don't, whatever." So we got no hoops, by the way, tonight and tomorrow. Just so everybody knows. I mean, no women's basketball even. All right, just so you know. We're not counting that NIT, CBI, CIT stuff. Alphabet soup doesn't count. Just so you know, today, tomorrow, you just maybe spend some time with family. Watch a TV show. Netflix.
Oh, so as opposed to watching sports with your family, sit in the room, put a movie on?
Yeah, well,
that really is a good way to keep things close. We've got Bruins and Panthers tonight. What the hell are you talking about? It's a monster game.
Well, and so's Red Wings Capitals because they're battling for the finals playoff spot in the East. I agree, but we're into hockey. Not everyone's into hockey. I'm just saying
they are in the 2-3. This is a bonus hour. This is the number one hockey market in the country that does not have an NHL team.
Yeah, thus us and Milwaukee battle it out. Right.
Providence is there as well.
Mm-hmm. But they're in close proximity. Although you could argue technically, I mean, so are we. We just don't think of ourselves that way because everybody in Providence is a fan of the Bruins. Everybody in Milwaukee is a fan of the Blackhawks, right? I mean, who else are rooting for in hockey if not the Blackhawks? You live in Southwest Florida. I mean, there's more fans of other teams than there are of the Lightning and Panthers combined.
Absolutely. There are a ton of Bruin fans around here. There are a ton of Red Wing fans around here. There are a ton of, the same thing we get for football.
In fact, I would argue that's probably, if we went gold, silver, bronze, is that you just touched upon gold and silver. I'll bet the Lightning are bronze. 30 years. A lot of success. All right. I'm going to go Lightning for bronze. But
who are you going for gold?
I'd probably go Wings.
I would too. And that's not just my bias. I've just seen it up close and personal from the standpoint of sports bars and the like. Go ahead in the bonus hour. Text us 21,000. Who's your hockey team?
Yeah.
I'll do a little informal poll right now.
Yeah.
Moulton loves informal polls.
Well, I will say we're down to about 10 games, 11 tops left in the regular season in hockey. These games are meaningful. I mean, Panthers, Bruins. You want to finish first or finish second?
Right.
Now, there only looks to be like there could be two soft playoff teams in the East. I got to be honest. If Philly makes it, if Philly holds on to third place in their division, that's a soft playoff team. And right now, it's either Caps or Wings for the final playoff spot. That's a soft playoff team, whoever makes it. But, Rangers, Canes, Bruins, Panthers, Lightning, Leafs, especially early in the playoffs with the Lightning. But you could argue, Mark, hell, the longer they stay alive, they get Sergachev back. They get another frontline defenseman back, in theory, by the second or third round.
And the West, and I know no one pays as much attention because our loyalties is to our teams that we root for, and most of those teams are in the East. The West is going to be a bloodbath.
When
Vegas, the absolute bloodbath. The bottom two teams making the playoffs right now are Nashville and Vegas.
Right. Nashville's on a huge roll, and Vegas is the defending Stanley Cup champion. Correct. Congratulations, Vancouver. You're the 1 seed. You open with Vegas. Exactly.
That's if they get the 1 seed because they're only a point ahead of Colorado and Dallas right now. I mean, this is a dogfight in the West. And again, I know not as many people are paying attention, but there is a McDavid out there and a McKinnon, and they're both worth watching every damn night.
I mean, the Lightning just put a little 6-0-1 stretch together, most of it on the road out west. So what are we, about 3 weeks away?
Yeah.
From the Stanley Cup playoffs? Man. it doesn't create, I think, the immediacy of what the madness creates. As Yale is clinging to a lead against Auburn, as Oakland is clinging to that lead against Kentucky. I mean, that's about as good as sports gets. But overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs, man.
Well, and especially a series is 1-0. A series is 2-1. And you go to overtime. For one team, it's survival. For the other team, it could be the defining moment of the series.
So there you go. We're getting down to crunch time. Got some big regular season hockey games tonight, as Mark mentioned. Florida, Boston, Detroit, Washington. The last one could determine who makes the playoffs and who doesn't. And the first one could determine who's the division champ, potentially the 1 seed in the East, and who's got to play the Leafs.
Right. Second place gets Toronto. First place should get one of the two worst teams in the East that qualify.
Right. Which right now is Tampa Bay and the winner of Washington, Detroit. I mean, that's the other thing that's important here. If you're going to win your division, you really want to be the number 1 overall seed. You don't want to be the number 2 overall seed, because then you get the Lightning. Nobody wants to play the Lightning in the first round. Nobody. You imagine going on this big run at the end of the season, say you overtake so-and-so, you win. You're the number 1. Who do we got in the first round? Vasilevsky, Hedman, Point, Kucherov, Stamkos, John Cooper. Oh, yeah, the 2 guys they picked up at the deadline, yeah, they're crushing it. Duclair's are better than a point a game since they picked him up. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's no basketball tonight.
Nope.
But the hockey is going to start having playoff-like intensity for most of these teams the rest of the way. There's no mailing it in at this point.
I really want Panthers Lightning. I really want it. I know it'd be better for the show if they didn't play each other and they both, go on a run and meet either in the second round but man, let's do it. Let's do it. Panthers.
I think Florida would love it, believe it or not. I think Florida would look at the Lightning and say, come on. Come on.
I think they'd say it's our turn, but the Lightning would go, yeah, when we play in the playoffs, we win. So, all right. We'll take the turnpike down. If you want us to bus, we can bus. We can go I-4 east and take the turnpike down. We can do that.
Look at you. You got teams busting in the playoffs.
Well,
1974.
Well, it's all the minor league sports you and I have covered. I'm still thinking, if you got an opportunity to bus, nothing wrong with a bus ride. I don't think guys would mind bussing down. I think they'd have a real problem after game 2 bussing back. Wait a minute. We're getting on a bus at 11 o'clock at night. We're what? We're getting back when? So, yeah, that's what we have tonight. We got hockey tonight, baby.
Because after all, it's a Tuesday, Thursday league.
That's it. It's a 3-day league. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Don't get it. Don't understand it at all, but that's what they've become.
All those other days of the week, they could try to get our attention. Yeah, we're good. So, looking forward to it.
Bruins on a little Florida swing. They got the Panthers tonight. They got the Lightning tomorrow. So I'm guessing a lot of Bruin fans are either tracking across the alley tonight or tracking up tomorrow to watch their Bees take on one of the 2 Florida teams as they are in town for a couple.
Of course, it's the NHL. They've got 2 networks to do their games. Any of their games tonight on a network, Mark? Any of them? That would be a no. No. There's no TNT tonight. There's no ESPN 2 tonight. Nah. Can't be bothered. Yeah. Nothing going on here. Nothing to see here. Now, am I out of touch that if you're available on streaming, does it matter?
Yeah, I think you're right on, because you have to buy ESPN Plus to get the games. Now, I'm an ESPN Plus subscriber, so I don't care.
Okay. But how many people have ESPN Plus?
More and more.
Yeah, I got you. But compared to having ESPN or TNT?
Not close.
No. So, all right. Got that out of my system.
And a little NHL preview for you as well. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was a day when, and what's on tap, that's still 25 minutes away. Thanks so much for listening to Miller and Moulton. Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. They passed the kickoff rule?
Apparently 6 minutes ago.
Holy Christ.
I'm getting McDonald's after the show. Just decided.
What are you going with?
I don't know yet, but I just
Breakfast, or are you going for lunch?
I have points. Probably breakfast. I have points on the app.
Yes, ambient. It's only for 1 year. And then they'll see. I love the fact the competition committee was unanimously in favor of it. The NFLPA was unanimously against it. The owners went with the competition committee.
Why don't they ever try something out in preseason?
They have. They've done things where they try them out in preseason, and then next year they vote whether to do it.
Because these are two things that I think they could have tried out in preseason.
Well,
like see how many flags get thrown on the hip drop.
But we talked about the hip drop, you mean?
Well, and the kickoff, but I'm talking more about the hip drop.
Well, the problem with the kickoff, and Pat brought it up, is that he doesn't think teams are going to show anything during the preseason.
That makes sense.
I wonder if this will stay, or I wonder if this will be. You remember back in 2024 when they had that stupid kickoff rule?
Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, ugly. What's on tap today was the day when. It's all a little more than 15 minutes away. We were supposed to have Pat Kirwan on the show today. He will join us tomorrow. He's busy interviewing owners, GMs, and coaches, whatever, at the NFL owners meetings. But the owners just voted, Mark. And we've got a new kickoff.
Yep. 2024 will be the year that the NFL will forever have changed as far as kickoffs go. How long it will last remains to be seen. But at least for this year, we are going to have the former XFL kickoff. I don't know. Does the UFL use the same kickoff?
I have no idea. The UFL starts this weekend, I believe.
But the XFL, give them credit. It's their kickoff that is being instituted into the National Football League.
Now, I don't know if all of what was passed was also in the XFL or not, but here's the full rule, because they made a couple of tweaks. So you're kicking off from the 35, your own 35. Your guys are lining up on their 40. They have to line up at least 9 of their 11 guys on the return team have to line up between the 30 and 35-yard line. So 5 to 10 yards away. None of those 19 players, and it could be 20, by the way. The return team can put 10 men at this, new line of scrimmage, if you will, and only have one person back returning. But if they put 2, then they'll have 9. None of those 19 or 20 players can move until the ball is caught or hits the ground. Now, Mark, the squib kick has basically been taken out of the game because the kickoff has to advance to at least the other team's 20-yard line. Basically, they now have a return zone from the goal line to the 20. If, say, the kicker mishits it, we've all done it in golf, right? Trying to get some loft, and all of a sudden we hit a little thin. The sucker still pretty much goes where we want it to go. It's just not quite how we expected to do it. Well, the problem is if they hit a line drive and it lands short of the 20, that's the equivalent of kicking the ball out of bounds. The ball gets placed at the 40. So you can't, gimmick this at all. You got to kick it to at least the 20. If the ball lands in between the goal line and the 20 and then bounces into the end zone and you then grab it and take a knee, you only advance the ball to the 20. So they're encouraging you as the returner, hey, if that ball lands at the 5 and goes 2 yards in the end zone, better return it because we're only going to put you out to the 20. Whereas if you kick it into the end zone or through the end zone, the regular touchback is now going to be the 30. It has been the 25. The original proposal said the 35. So now they place it at the 30. So you got it? No fair catches allowed.
There'll be a quiz later.
So to review, kickoff from the normal spot, the 35. Now the 10 guys who used to line up next to the kicker, they're 25 yards ahead.
Boy, that Adam Sandler song about the lonely kicker's never been more apparent right now. Holy cow.
The guys blocking them, all right, they're 5 to 10 yards in front of them, standing right there. None of them can move until the ball is caught or lands on the ground. If the ball's kicked through the end zone, touchback, 30. If the ball's kicked into the end zone, touchback, 30.
If you are in an onside kick position, you then have to declare that you're going to kick an onside kick, and everything goes back to the way it was.
Exactly. Go all the way back to the 35, and
everybody comes with you.
There's no surprise onside kicks. And the kickoff must go at least 45 yards. Has to land in the receiving zone of the goal line to the 20. No squib kicks. Has to go at least to the opposing team's 20-yard line. If it lands short of that, it's considered kicking the ball out of bounds. Ball placed at the 40. And if the ball lands in the receiving zone, say lands at the 5, goes into the end zone, you then grab it and take a knee, well, you'll get a touchback, but only to the 20, not to the 30, because you had a chance to return it.
The receiving zone is for returning only. No fair catch allowed in the receiving zone.
Okay,
this
music.
Is so gimmicky.
It's going to feel weird, isn't it?
It sounds ridiculous. It just does.
Okay, music in our Twitch chat room. What if it's a low line drive and it hits a player? That's the equivalent of kicking it out of bounds. All right, you mishit it. No, it's on you.
I will say, one of the things that special teams coaches liked, and we've had Mike Westhoff on the show many times over the years, is that high kick to the corner. That's not necessary anymore. It's just trying to get your kicker to kick it to the one.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 10 feet off the ground or 60 feet off the ground. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference. No one can move until the ball's caught or it hits the ground.
And they think most teams will put 2 returners back because of the whole difference between the 20 and 30 in terms of a touchback. That if there's only one returner in the middle of the field, maybe they can't get all the way over to the sideline. Maybe. We'll see. Now, the one thing I will say, when games have started now for a few years, we're all ramped up, ready to go. Yeah. Lions and Bears. Okay. Dolphins and Jets. Let's go. And then what happens? Kickoff through the end zone, touchback.
I'm curious if the folks on Saturday are paying attention.
Yeah, they don't really care about player safety on Saturdays. And I'm not being...
No, but there's no returns on Saturday either. Do they want more returns on Saturday? They kick it through the end zone on Saturday the same way they do on Sunday. These guys can all kick it.
I think there's more returns on Saturday, but I hear you. But, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you can hit the quarterback on Saturday far more often and in far worse ways than you can hit him on Sunday.
Absolutely. They don't care about player safety on Saturday. Your first point is very valid, David.
No.
I'm talking about from a television product standpoint.
Right.
I am not talking about play. I don't give a damn about player safety because neither league does. So why should I care? I'm talking about the entertainment value. If we have deemed that the return provides a greater entertainment value and the networks like it, and 2 networks run college football, don't you think they would be in a spot where they might want the sport that they control to have the same type of change? That's all.
I think we're going to have a lot of all or nothing with this in the first year. If we get a lot of high kicks down to the 3-5 yard line and then guys with the running start, and they're going to get to that guy by the 20. Okay, I do. But if you can just, Mark, I see a lot of short kickoff returns and a lot more touchdowns. Because, instead of guys who used to be able to get the running start and the ball and the kicker told you what direction they were kicking it in, okay, now you literally, in a short period of time, you need to create one small crease in a shorter period of time. Mark, how are the guys on the one side of the field even going to get over to the other side? It's another thing I think you're going to see a lot more of. I think you're going to see a lot more kickoffs down the middle of the field. Have more guys potentially in range to tackle.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions.
Yeah, the high kicks, the high low kick doesn't matter because they can't move till it's caught.
Or it hits the ground.
Right. But the height of the kick doesn't matter.
Nope, because nobody can move. So it's a matter of just where are you catching it? What yard line, what part of the field? No, they can't move. No one can move, Guillermo, until the ball is touched or hits the ground. Guillermo, there we go. Right. Cannot move. The other thing I think you're going to see a lot of is teams try to figure out how the one returner's got it and he runs 15 yards, stops, and then he throws it across the field.
Death by execution, Empire.
Right. I'm pretty sure. I believe first and goal is what they do. If you move early, they take the ball, they move it all the way down first and goal at the 6. Okay, music. I think they could we used to call it, which I'm sure you can't anymore. Remember in gym class, you had to sit Indian style. Okay. I'm sure they can, just as long as they don't move. Can't kneel for the anthem, but you can for the kickoff. This is the NFL. Ba-dum-bum. Oh, I know, Logic Man. You can't say Chinese fire drill anymore. It's awful. Yes, you can turn your heads. Your feet can't move.
This is dumb.
It's going to look weird.
Special teams coordinators around the country.
Oh, I'm calling Westhoff. I'm texting Westhoff right now.
I
as
mean,
a matter of fact.
they got to be throwing fits. They
Well, in a way, though, it's bringing special teams back into the game. I'll bet you they love it. I bet they think it's the way they're doing it's ridiculous, but anything to bring the kickoff back, I bet you they're in favor of.
Well, yeah, that's true. They're just going to have to. I mean, the way they got to coach all these new guys on the new rule and.
But like you've only heard Westhoff once on our show. I mean, Westhoff thinks he can out X and O anybody on special teams.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes until the top of the hour, 16 until we're done talking. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We'll have Pat Kirwan tomorrow. He's busy working at the NFL owners meetings. Man, I will say, we're very anti-meeting on this show. I mean, what gets done in a meeting? It's a waste of time, right? We need more owners. We need more owners meetings, though, because these guys don't meet with the media during the course of the season. This is the only time they basically, outside of Jera, okay? I mean, the other owners, they don't talk to the media. I mean, John Mara a little bit. The Rooneys once a year. I mean, you know what I'm getting at. But at the owners' meetings,
particularly the national media, the owners will meet with their local media, usually start a camp and some of that, but that doesn't.
Right.
It's formality more than actual getting any information out of them.
And the reason I say that is that Mark Wolf, all right, owner of the Vikings. So he was asked about Cousins and, how'd you guys lose him? And he said, well, I think it came down to the fact that we didn't fully guarantee the first 2 years of the contract. Oh. Which now, Vikings fan can come to, I mean, come on, let's be honest. You're going to offer Kirk Cousins a 4-year contract. You're not going to guarantee the first 2 years. And you really expect him to say yes to that. Kirk Cousins. Right. Thank you, Mark. Right. Has anybody played the system more harshly than Kirk? I'm all about guaranteed money, Cousins. I mean, what's the stat in his career? All but like $3 million that he's earned was guaranteed. And that was on his rookie deal, 4th round pick, that sort of thing. But so anyway, how do you get that? Owners meetings, they're talking, a little golf in the morning. We'll schedule a vote about the kickoff. All right.
It's an early pass of a vote, by the way.
I know.
Way to go, NFL, getting it done before the show is over. I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, they're usually older guys. They're having an earlier lunch than normal, probably 11:30 lunch. And then, maybe another round of golf or get on the private jet and head back. Let's wrap this sucker up. Already been here for 2 days. I don't like these guys enough to stay here anymore. Come on, let's go.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
I don't have a lot today, David, but we start in 1953 when Dr. Joseph Silk announces that he has successfully tested a vaccine to prevent polio.
Yeah, that Salk guy, this was big. No, this is big. Don't downplay this.
No, I didn't say what I had wasn't important.
No, Jonas Salk and the polio vaccine. That's a biggie.
Right. 72, the Lakers set an NBA record for wins with a 69-13 record. It would stand for 24 years.
Wait a minute. You telling me the regular season's over on March 26th? What?
This one not as significant, but I bring it up for David and I. It was today in 1973 on CBS that The Young and Restless premiered.
Wow.
Yeah.
That changed television.
74, Foreman TKO's Ken Norton.
Man, they all fought each other too, multiple times. It's just the heavyweight division in the first half of the 70s was amazing.
Right. You had guys like Shavers who weren't even the top end, who were really good fighters.
Oh, it was like 7th or 8th ranked contenders. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, you had Ron Lyle, who was like the 5th best heavyweight in the world. All right. Oh man, Ron Lyle could destroy people. And he couldn't beat any of the big boys. He knocked Foreman down twice. They had a 4-round fight. Ron Lyle knocked George Foreman down twice and lost.
Today in 1979, Magic, Larry, Sparty takes down Indiana State.
Still the highest rated college basketball game ever.
And today in 1982, Ebony and Ivory released. McCartney and Wonder. Of course, all I'm thinking about is Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo.
I am too.
Probably will watch that skit after.
You may have lost me for the rest of the show. Oh, man.
The piano and the black keys and the white keys. Ivory, it's a soap that floats. Robert Frost, Tennessee Williams, Strother Martin, Sandra Day O'Connor, Leonard Nimoy, and James Caan, all born today. Bob Woodward is 81. Diana Ross is 80. Steven Tyler is 76. I had the under.
Goodness.
Martin Short, 74. Marcus Allen is 64. John Stockton is 62. And Von Miller is 35.
I think Marcus Allen inside the 5 can still find his way into the end zone. He was really good inside the 5-yard line. You know, he wasn't a huge, powerful back, but he was athletic enough to jump over the pile. And his instincts, he could just kind of angle his body and get in that crease. He was really good at scoring touchdowns and a few other things. President Jefferson was given a mammoth loaf of bread today back in 1804.
Who?
Apparently,
Love a
there
good
was
mammoth loaf.
We're all for mammoth loaf, aren't we? What's funny is, Mark, biggest story today in 79. Magic and Larry or Israel and Egypt signed the peace accord?
Probably B, but the first one was watched by more people.
Yes, it was. I was going to say, the guy who engineered the peace agreement lost the election, and one of the 2 guys in the peace agreement got shot. Just saying.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
John Lentz has been doing the same thing every Sunday for 50 years. Wakes up, he goes to church, and then he goes to Bojangles for lunch. But this particular Sunday was a little different because when Charlie walked into the Bojangles where they have his order waiting for him most every week,
Oh, that's amazing.
it turned into a celebration because he turned 105.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not 100.
105. His go-to at Bojangles, in case you were wondering, is the leg and thigh 2-piece. Who doesn't like the dark meat?
I'm
juicier.
I'm with Charlie.
Love a good thigh. For the bad, we go to Tampa and a Wawa store. Tampa Police Department responded to a disturbance between 2 men. One of the 2 men pulled out a machete during the argument. The other man says, call the cops. In the video, a woman can be heard pleading with one of the men as a child was sitting between the 2 men in a stroller. The man with the machete did cut the other man on the arm, leaving a gash. He was arrested on site. There are a lot of people that are carrying machetes these days, David.
I know. What's up with that?
Finally, the ugly. We go to California. where a California police department is going to need a new way to disguise the faces of suspects in photos posted to social media. They were using Lego heads over the faces of the suspects to protect their identity. But Lego's upset and wants them to quit. Said it's an intellectual property and that the Moretta Police Department can no longer use Lego heads on the covered faces of their suspects. Seems reasonable to me. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, March the 26th, 2024.
I will say we have to take a step back. You know, you and I both go to different services to get our information on today was the day when. And occasionally we miss things. Usually because the services are, you know, of a certain level of information. You know, they won't maybe go down to the level that maybe we'd be interested in some of the things. Mark, today, 27 years ago, was the Avs Wings brawl in Detroit. We haven't seen anything like that since.
No, we haven't.
That was
Thank
15
you, Darren
minutes.
McCarty.
That was 15 minutes they fought on the ice. For 15 minutes they fought. Osgood and Wah, right?
Yeah.
Wings hadn't won a cup yet. Avs
Nope.
were the defending cup champions the year after the Claude Lemieux dirty hit on Draper. In Detroit. If you don't know what we're talking about, look it up.
Google it, Chuck.
Yeah. That's as old school gets. If that brawl happened today, they might suspend guys for half the season. I think Gary Bettman, who was commissioner then, by the way, but I think in the modern day NHL, the league would absolutely positively lose their minds.
Of course they would. But there's a 30 for 30 about it.
Right.
That's all you need to know.
Right. How epic it was. And the Wings go on to win back-to-back cups.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
And many believe it was that night that pushed the Wings over the cliff, if you will, to get past the Avs.
Yep. And what was the knock on the Wings? They weren't tough enough. That was the knock. The Devils in 95 in the finals, they swept them and they checked them into the ground. The neutral zone trap, and then they just checked them into the ice. They got out toughed against the Avs in 96 in that series in the conference finals. And that was the word. Wings may have been the most talented team in the league, but they weren't tough enough. And on March 26, 1997, they said, yeah, we're going to put this
we're
to
not.
bed. Yeah, we're going to put this to bed tonight.
They had a tail of the tape in the Detroit News before the game.
Correct. Yeah. No, the media was basically saying to the Wings, if you don't go for blood tonight, basically, you've lost us. We will not support you going forward if you don't go for blood tonight. It was great in that 30 for 30, which Lemieux and the Avs players, they were like, oh, yeah, we kind of knew it was coming. We could feel it just walking through the hotel to get on the bus to go to the game.
Big game tonight for those very Red Wings. They take on the Capitals. The Wings and the Caps fighting for that last playoff spot in the East. Bruins and Panthers in a battle for, well, first in the division and still trying to vie for first overall in the conference.
Panthers and Rangers, I think, tied. Same amount of points, same number of games, right? Bruins are tied.
Rangers are a point up on both the Panthers and the Bruins.
Okay.
Rangers have 98, Panthers and Bruins 97.
And the Panthers have a game in hand on the Bruins. So think if they could get 2 tonight and then still have a game in hand, that would be big with about 10 to play. NBA, 4 games. The Heat are hosting Golden State. It's not nationally televised. That's a key game. The Heat are trying to avoid the play-in. They're a game behind Indiana. Golden State's just trying to stay in the play-in. They're only a half a game ahead of Houston, who's won 9 in a row. And Golden State's got the Heat and Magic on back-to-back nights on the road. It's a key 36 hours for the Warriors. The TNT double dip, though. Lakers at Milwaukee, Dallas at Sacramento, 7:30 and 10 o'clock.
I mean, every NBA game tonight's worth watching.
Yes.
Because the Thunder and Pelicans is the other game that you didn't. I mean, every game's got some significance to it. Really, for a short NBA schedule, a really good NBA schedule.
3 of the 4 games have a point spread of under 3, if you're interested. So there you go. Busy show tomorrow. I know we're going to have Seth Everett and Pat Kirwan. And we might have more. A lot of things in flux.
A lot of balls in the air right now. We'll just see where they land and if we catch them.
Miller and Moulton. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Thanks so much for listening. And we'll get over the hump together tomorrow.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095.